Well, good evening, racing fans. Welcome to racing action from Grand River Raceway for this fine evening with, shows up as blue skies on TV, but when I look out my window, they're more kind of whitish blue, so we'll see. We know the track condition is listed as fast, and as always, the announcer is listed as slow. Let's get a look at the changes on this evening's card of racing. In race 1, 9 Barbie Station is scratched. Race 1, scratch 9, Barbie Station. Race 2, no changes. No changes, race 2. Race 3, 1, what's the point? Travis Henry. Travis Henry will drive number 1, what's the point? Race 4, no changes. No changes, race 4. Race 5, 1 Danish Brew. Sam Fillion will drive. Sam Fillion will drive 1 Danish Brew. And Phil Houdon drives 9 Cadaver Kaboom. Phil Houdon drives the 9. Race 6, no changes. Race number 7 scratched is number 3 Solwit. Race 7 scratched 3 Solwit. Race 8 no changes. No changes, race 8. Race 9 3 Poof is scratched. Race 9 scratched 3 Poof. And the 10th race, number 5, Montrego. It'll be Phil Houdon to drive. Phil Houdon drives 5, Montrego. Once again, reviewing races 1 and 2. Race 1, 9 Barbie Station is scratched. And the second race, no changes. It is currently 18 minutes to post time. Time to welcome in our handicapping expert, my co-host, live from Margaritaville. I need some pizza. Margaritaville. And how are things there in the Big Palace? You had any margarita pizza lately?
We have actually, yeah. We probably get it once every couple of weeks. Not my choice, right? That's always Megan's choice. That's her favorite, not mine, Gary. I know you absolutely love margarita pizza, and that's why you love referring to this place as as Margaritaville in the Big Palace here. But I'm looking forward to tonight's card because we've got 10 dashes now. We only had 8 on Monday night. Now we're back to 10, which puts back in play that late pick 5 and that late pick 4 wager. Which are ones that obviously I always love jumping in on without low takeout of 15%. And there's 6 trot races tonight, 4 on the pace. A lot of quality, though, I think, throughout the card and some opportunities maybe to find some prices. And there's going to be a couple that we're going to really hang our hat on as well. There's 3 divisions of the Prospect Series, which those races are always fun. And my best bet is going to be in race number 4, a horse that was a $610,000 yearling. Who is now 4 years old, has not lived up to the potential, but I thought raced fantastic. First start back after a long time at Rideau Carlton last time. That's Craft Made in the 4th race. So looking forward to seeing that one. And we got Louis Philippe Bois here tonight. So should be a good night all around. Again, a real solid 10-pack of harness racing action here at the River. And always get started with that early pick 5 wager, that guaranteed pool of $5,000, low takeout, 15%. We'll go over what we like in that sequence. Gary, myself, will also get Conley's ticket at about 8 minutes to post. 10 minutes to post till the opening dash here at Grand River Raceway on this wonderful Wednesday evening. And at this time, we usually like to take a closer look at the early pick five. Guaranteed pool, $5,000, low takeout, 15%. And Gary, myself, and Conley always map out our suggested wagers for that sequence. But feel free to add or subtract as you see fit, and obviously make your own tickets for this can't miss wager of the evening here at Grand River. And for me, I'm really going to zero in on a single in race 4, and I think many will also be in that camp as well, and that's with Craft Made. But I just kind of like these sequences tonight, and we're gonna the races that we're spreading in. I think we're giving ourselves chances to maybe get a price down, but we've also got some logical ones as well. Opening dash 236 for me. Sweet Emily T, I thought qualified just fine at Mohawk Park last quarter, 28-2, and wasn't asked to do a whole lot in that one. And I think we usually see, Mark Etzel trainees kind of handled aggressively off the switch in their first lifetime starts. So, especially when he's aboard. So I like her chances here. Gritty Hanover, now going to be racing with trotting hobbles after staying flat with them in a qualifier last time. And the 6 Hobnob Hanover, I thought, raced pretty well. I thought she was pretty good in her first start for Pat Houdon. And now, of course, gets back on a regular rotation. So 3 deep to kick it off. Then just the 1 and 2 in race 2. Cheese Party, I think the clear one to beat, but Fancy Lettering, I think, is one you want to have as well. Might be the pace setter, and we know that can sometimes prove to be positive here at the River. So 1, 2 in race number 2. Race number 3, the 1, 2, 3, and 5. I think that's kind of a wide open looking dash, and I really like the 5 Lincoln's Landing. I don't think we'll see anything close to that 10-1 morning line come post time, because dropping down significantly, has been facing tougher and kind of holding his own, a fringe player in non-winners of 2, and I think it's a better spot for him tonight. So 4 deep in there, and hoping we get maybe one of those prices down in that leg. Race number 4, just the 2 Craft Made, $610,000 yearling. Had no chance the way the race developed when racing off the bench last time. Had missed over a year of action, and really just floated up late strongly to be second in that numbers of 30,000 lifetime race at Rito Carlton. Now returns to these parts and will race for Luc Blais again. Louis Philippe Roy back aboard. Yes, this horse has had some problems making miscues, but I think good to go tonight. I'm gonna single up on the 2 Craft Made in race number 4, and then in the 5th race, the money leg, 2 deep with the 2 Pillow Thief, who I've been chasing. I might have rose-colored glasses for this one. I've been all over him in his last 2, second and third. But Royal Beluga, if he trots, I don't think they can beat him, because if you look at that qualifier that he's coming into it off of, he gets beat a neck to Timo Riggs. Timo Riggs would be the shortest of prices. It wouldn't even calculate in the parimutuel system if we let it in that 5th race, a maiden race. And again, if he trots, I don't think they beat him. And the trotting hobbles have now come off after making breaks with those back in July and back-to-back efforts. I like that one's chances, but he's a risky proposition, so we're also using the 2 Pillow Thief. $9.60 for a 20-cent ticket. We'll see what Gary Guy has in store for us.
Well, of course, I share the amount, $9.60. And I use my same standard rotation to 4 pairs and then a 3. Look, race number 1, I've got the same 2 that you have, the 2 and 3, plus you also have the 6. I don't have the 6, but only because, you got to stop somewhere. I do agree that that's the next one to use, or one of them, but just have Sweet Emily T and Grady Hanover. Second race, we look at it the same way. I think the inside to that whole race, it's all about them. In race number 3, well, yeah, I'm a little worried that I should have maybe included Chip Happen, but I could only go 3 deep, so I have the 1, 2, and 5, and I'm on Lincoln's Landing on top, and it is your top choice, and morning line of 10-1. You know what I tell you about morning line. Stop looking at it. Race number 4. Well, this story is true for race 4 and 5. I left off 2 trotters that if they stay flat, well, then I'm out. Craft Made and Royal Beluga. I left them both right out. So in that 4th race, I have fantastic MVP and Showed Holiday. We'll see. Craft Made is obviously the talent in there. And in race number 5, same story. I have Pillow Thief and Over End, and left out Royal Beluga, your top choice. So I'm going against the ones that show a lot of breaks, but if they stay flat, then I guess my ticket's dead.
Well, listen, it's not a bad strategy, right? Go against the ones that make the miscues. If they jump it off, they'll probably take money, and maybe it'll put you on the right side of value. Pretty easy to figure out the math on how many combinations we have similar tonight, myself and Gary. It's a big fat zero because I'm singling up on Craft Maiden race number 4. But we spend the same amount and a different approach. So it's always nice to have different opinions, especially in these types of wagers. We're going to look at Conley's ticket now, see what Conley's got cooked up for us in this early pick 5 ticket. And there it is right there. He's going to single in race 2. He doesn't have Craft Made either on his ticket. We'll start here 4, 5, 6, and 8. So he doesn't have the 2 that I'm very fond of. The 2 and the 3 here, Sweet Emily T and Grady Hanover. He goes 4, 5, 6, and 8, which I don't mind a few of those anyways, but went in a different direction on my ticket. Just the one cheese party. Don't mind that at all in race number 2. This horse has been racing fantastic as of late. Was a non-betting interest last time out because of, I guess, a tote issue, but has won 3 in a row and done so in fine fashion. I don't mind that single at all in race number 2. 1, 5, and 7 in race 3. So we're on the same page in that one for the most part. I like Lincoln's Landing. I don't mind What's the Point. Fastnet Rock, I just couldn't get to because of post 7. The 4th race, the 3 and the 5-star Hairdresser is interesting because it does have early foot. If that gets deployed tonight, moves in from post 8 at Georgian to post 3 here. The 5 Enchanted Angel, one that last time out, I mean, I was kind of surprised was able to get that trip that she worked out. She couldn't go with the likes of Veracruz and Father Daniels, but it's still a solid effort. I just think Craft Made might prove too much to them if he builds off his latest and stays on the trot. And then race number 5, the 2 and the 4. He's got Pillow Thief and he's got Over End, obviously shying away from the breaks of Royal Beluga, which I don't mind. I just thought he looked really good in that qualifier last time. I really did. And maybe if they've got him figured out, I mean, look out. I mean, it's just one of those things where Mark Etzel, all kinds of success with trotters. If he's got Royal Beluga figured out, with the trotting hobbles coming off, then I think he's the clear one to beat in race number 5. $9.60 for Conley. We're all spending the same amount tonight. That's kind of cute. $9.60 across the board and a different approach in each of those tickets. You got a minute or so to map out your winning wagers for this early pick 5. Again, the pool's guaranteed at $5,000. The takeout's always a low 15%. And Gary and I will come back after the post break to take a closer look at the opening dash.
Field 4, race number 1 is on parade 1, Volstead Muzak, Brett McDonough for Francis Gomez and Jean O'Laren. Eric Beausejour. Number 2 is Sweet Emily T. Mark Hetzel drives and trains in partners with Lindsay Turner and Don Burnett. Number 3 is Gritty Hanover, Scotty Calder, Clark Beelby, and Coyote Wind Farms. Number 4 is T.H. Emmett, Louis Bois for Matthew Trelford and Roy Trelford. Number 5, Supersonic Hanover, Blair Burgess drives and trains for Burgess Racing 24 and Charles Foster and Timothy Mansfield and Stuart McEachern. Number 6, Hobnob Hanover, Smilin' Pat Hudon driving for Pinsky Stables and David House. Number 7, Mega Fabulous, Paul Davies drives and trains for Nicole Davies. Number 8, Royal Moon, Travis Henry for Sean Stacy and Shelley McMillan and David McDonald. And 9 is Scratch. Field of 8, race number 1. Let's get a quick look at this field of 2-year-olds. Maidens on the trot. We'll start with number 2, Sweet Emily T. Well, the first 3 quarters, they were just okay, but a sweet 28-2 final quarter in that qualifier, Rob.
Yeah, not bad at all. This has been a race where the betting's kind of bounced everywhere, Gary. And just a moment ago, the 3 that I'm using in the pick 5, we're all sitting at 3-1 co-favorites. So it just shows you that this is going to be a race that probably the money's kind of spread out in. And the 2 Sweet Emily T, I thought the qualifier was a good one. I mean, kind of just didn't do much in the early stages. But then that 28-2 in the end of it, and it was kind of easy. There wasn't much urging happening there, and kind of qualified like I see a lot of horses from the Mark Etzel barn. And usually they come to play, though, right? When he's aboard, I've noticed they kind of get handled aggressive early on in the race. I think probably because he wants to kind of see, what he's got when it comes to a pari-mutuel event, and a good post for this one to work from. And she is a half sister to Sweet Carrie T, who actually debuted at the gold level when she was a 2-year-old and had some success in the grassroots. So again, you always got to respect the barn of Mark Etzel, especially with young trotters. And this is one that I thought we could get behind at maybe a price, but has been taking support throughout the betting right now at 3-1.
Number 3, Gritty Hanover is my top choice, and right now is a co-favorite at 5-2. And, well, you see all those qualifiers, and also a 28-2 final quarter in that qualifier, the last one.
Yeah, they came out of the same. You'd say, well, you put one on top that got beat by a real wide margin to the other. But, I mean, one was never really asked to do much at all. They came home in the same panel, and there's no money in qualifying. But what I liked about Gritty Hanover is, first of all, $40,000 yearling purchase. Second of all, breaks in stride in both of his first 2 qualifiers, added the trotting hopples, and looked much smoother out there, kind of freewheeled it for much of that mile, and then got beat by Solo CP. So I don't mind that at all. And I'm thinking this one's probably going to get, forwardly placed off the gate as long as he minds his manners off the switch, and then can kind of be in the mix throughout, maybe even chopping it out. So I thought that Gritty Hanover would be the favorite. Still might see that come post time. Like his chances a lot. And again, I kind of initially thought I'd just use the 2 and 3 in here, but then had to use my man Pat Hudon as well.
Well, and speaking of Pat Hudon, that's 6 Hobnob Hanover. I said Smilin' Pat Hudon on the post spread. I got to take that back, man. He looks all serious business, which normally Pat's just all smiles. But maybe he's got his game face on with Hobnob Hanover.
Yeah, it might be a good thing, right? If he's got the game face on tonight. And there's this filly here. She's the daughter of Wallner. She was a $95,000 yearling purchase, just recently relocated north of the border to Pat Hudon's barn, and last time out got away 8th off the gate. I thought raced, pretty well all in all to finish 4th in a race where Hit the Bank got things his own way on the engine. And Hobnob Hanover can take a big step forward now, getting back into regular rotation. Second start after missing a bit of time, and second start, obviously, north of the border at this surface. So did not expect to see her take this kind of money. I know she's 2-1 morning line, but I thought she would maybe be third choice in here. But she's the favorite right now at 8-5. Again, I wouldn't really get all too excited about that as a win bet, but do have her on my pick five ticket.
Number 8, Royal Moon. I actually toyed with the idea of using this one on my pick 5 because I thought Royal Moon looked better here last time out, and it is the barn of Sean Stacy. Travis Henry's having a really fine year. There's some positives, but one of those is not post 8.
Yeah, post eight. I mean, we've kind of bounced around, with post eight's not that big of a deal. Okay, post eight's not a good thing at all, and obviously it's not a good thing. It has not been what it used to be. It's still been a tricky spot to win from, and I think even tougher for a young trotter that might not have all that much tactical speed. Now, maybe Royal Moon can flash it against this group. Got away third last time. And there could be breakers to her inside that might help her get away better. I think she's coming out of a quality race. I mean, Deborah, I thought, was a very professional in her lifetime debut in that effort on August 28th here, and I thought it was a decent fourth. Post scared me away, and I think Royal Moon for me is just kind of a minor play underneath, bottom end of the try and super.
Well, it's a field of 8. It's race number 1 on 10 dashes on a Wednesday night at Grand River Raceway. And they're taking up their positions. Volstead Muzak and Sweet Emily T on the inside with Gritty Hanover in the center. T.H. Emmett and Supersonic Hanover. The outside, Hobnob Hanover, Mega Fabulous, and Royal Moon. Field of 8, race number 1. Field for the first dash is wending their way towards the start on this Wednesday night at the river. And they're at the start of the rough, and Gritty Hanover broke stride. And T.H. Emmett is driving out, and Royal Moon on the outside. Sweet Emily T. Hobnob Hanover is racing fourth. Volstead Music, and then Mega Fabulous and Supersonic Hanover. And it is Royal Moon at 12-1. Now has the front. Volstead Music hit a sour note and went off stride. T.H. Emmett is racing second. Third in line is Sweet Emily T. Hobnob Hanover is fourth. Supersonic Hanover is fifth. They come off the turn. Royal Moon at 12-1 leads T.H. Emmett. Racing third is Sweet Emily T. Hobnob Hanover is right now fourth. 29-1 was the opening quarter. Supersonic Hanover is fifth, and Mega Fabulous is sixth. That is Royal Moon. And Travis Henry with the front at 12-1. T.H. Emmett is right there in the pocket. Sweet Emily T. and Mark Etzel is third. Hobnob Hanover and Hurricane Hudon on the outside fourth, and moving up and getting a little bit closer. And Supersonic Hanover to the outside, and Mega Fabulous. Halftime was 1 minute and 1/5, and Royal Moon picks up a breather in that second split of 31 seconds, and it is Royal Moon, T.H. Emmett, Hobnob Hanover, Sweet Emily T, Supersonic Hanover, and Mega Fabulous. Royal Moon leads as they hustle on by 3/4. Royal Moon. T.H. Emmett, Hobnob Hanover on the outside is hobnobbing a little bit closer now. And then Sweet Emily T. It is Royal Moon as they race towards the top of the stretch. T.H. Emmett on the inside. Hobnob Hanover wants to hobnob with Royal Moon as they turn for home. And it is Royal Moon and Hobnob Hanover on down the stretch. Where they come. And up the inside is T.H. Emmett. But it is Royal Moon. Royal Moon is going to go all the way. And then it is T.H. Emmett, Hobnob Hanover, Sweet Emily T. 2 minutes and 2/5. Royal Moon. Rob, I am kicking my you-know-what.
Yeah, I think I am too, Gary, because you know what? It was a better effort last time. We were worried about post 8. We saw it right off the gate, though, right? We had a horse gap to the gate. We also had a horse make a break and stride off the switch, and we see this one go forward. And as soon as Royal Moon touched down in the lead, I said, oh, this is big trouble, because we know there's going to be some soft panels coming. These are young trotters. And as long as Royal Moon's up front kind of doing it smoothly, it's going to be tough to catch. I mean, no doubt about it. And 12-1 on the board. I mean, I went 3 deep in my pick 5 wagers, and I guess I should have went 4 deep, because this was the horse I threw on the bottom end of the superfecta, but did not use in the multi-legs. And again, as soon as you touched down to the lead, I knew we were in big trouble.
Well, Royal Moon was my third choice, and well, number 3, Gritty Hanover makes a break right off the start, my top pick. So is it that kind of night it's going to be, man?
Well, let's hope not. I mean, listen, it's just race 1. It's a long way to go, right? It's a marathon, not a sprint.
I don't know, man. I feel a little rough gated tonight, so you're going to have to be sharp tonight to carry the program. Even sharper than you normally are, so that might be tough, but you're going to have to carry things a bit.
Well, I mean, let's hope so. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I didn't even have the horse that finished second. TH Emmett, I thought raced pretty well. Got away in the two hole. Try to go out the passing lane. It's always going to be tough. Forget passing lane here this season, whatever. It's always tough for a youngster to go out the passing lane. I thought raced pretty well to be second. Hobnob Hanover. I mean, just tough to kind of close into those types of fractions, right? Especially when they're banging home pretty good for young trotters. And I thought Hobnob Hanover another decent effort, but maybe next time for that one. And obviously, Gritty Hanover, jumped it off right away. We know it's a possibility. We see those two breaks in the qualifiers. The Hopples were on again tonight, but they didn't help him. Off-stride behind the gates, and at that point, I was down to the 2 and the 6. Thought we were in decent shape, but Royal Moon just too good on the engine.
Starting off with a 12-1 to kick off the Pick 5. It's an 8-4-6-2 back in front of us, and number 8, Royal Moon. 2-year-old Propulsion Bay filly owned by Shelley McMillan and David McDonald. Sean Stacey, the trainer. Travis Henry, the winning driver. Royal Moon, 2 minutes, 2/5. First race payouts 8 Royal Moon, 2630, 974.50. 4 TH Emmett, 560 and 330, and 6 Hobnob Hanover, 260. $2 exactor, $193.80. Dollar try, $290. $10 superfective, $1,377.45. First race, order of finish from the top, 8472635 scratch. That's 8472635 scratch on the bottom.
Royal Moon delivering a big knockout blow to the early pick 5 in the first race. 12-1 winner. Going to put many pick 5 tickets to the floor, including yours truly. But move on now to the early pick 4, starting right here in race number 2. Same low takeout of 15%, guaranteed pool $2,500. And this leg, I went too deep with the 1 cheese party and the 2 fancy lettering, but cheese party could be one you kind of single 3 in a row for that daughter of Better Than Cheddar. Been racing fantastic, and of course, a huge long shot winner last season here in the Battle of the Bells. It was her lone victory of her rookie campaign. She's the one to beat, but I also like the 2 fancy lettering. Louis Philippe Bois, I think, is going to have a big impact on the night. He's got a lot of drives here tonight, a lot of live ones, too. He was second in the first dash. I think he's got a big chance here in race number 2. So we'll go 2 deep with the 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, and 5 in race number 3. Really curious to see what price that we'll get on the 5 Lincoln's Landing in there. Obviously not the 10-1 morning line that we see in there because it is a drop down in class, and I think should be more than competitive against this group. Was second last time against similar company in a race won by Veracruz, and that was at 3-1. So we'll probably get something closer to that price. But we're going to go 4 deep anyways, 1, 2, 3, and 5 in race 3, and hopefully get a price down in that leg. Just the 2 Craft Made in race number 4. Again, $610,000 yearling. Returned after missing over a year in his latest. Was a strong second at Rito Carlton. Now going to race here at the River for determination. And Luc Blais, Louis Philippe Bois back between the wheels. And that's the one we're going to zero in on as our single in race number 4. Just the 2 and 6 in race number 5. Pillow Thief and Royal Beluga. Again, if Royal Beluga trots, I think he'll be very tough to beat. And they're $3.20 for a 20-cent wager. We'll see what Conley has in store for us in his early pick 4 wager, and there it is. So he's going to single up on Cheese Party here, which I have no issue with at all because, again, I think kind of the one to beat here. Now he's still trucking in that early pick 5, and he's had some chances this year for some big payouts. Well, he's kind of in line for one again if he can ever run the gauntlet, and he needs Cheese Party in that pick 5 as well. 12-1 winner for him in the opening leg of that pick 5, but there's the way he has the rest of the sequence. Cheese Party singled up on his pick 5 and his pick 4. Then the 1, 5, and 7 in race 3. So he's got What's the Point, Lincoln's Landing. He's also using Fastnet Rock, who I kind of discounted because of the post, but we just saw an 8-hole winner in the opening race of the night. 3, 5 in race number 4, Star Hairdresser and Enchanted Angel. And then 2, 4 in race number 5, Pillow Thief and Over End. $2.40 for a 20-cent ticket for Conley's.
Robert, you know what would be an interesting ticket here to play? Just single up Cheese Party, Lincoln's Landing, a single in the 3rd, and then just play Craft Made and Royal Beluga. Play it for $1. You don't need to go crazy, man. And those 4, because look, those 4, I think,
$10.
Yeah, but look, there's 3 very strong ones in there, and Lincoln's Landing. So if your 2 favorite trotters there, they are the best in there if they stay flat. And you've got in this race here Cheese Party, so it's all about Lincoln's Landing. We both think that 10-1 is crazy wrong.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. I like that idea because I think Cheese Party's the one to beat. I'm quite fond of Lincoln's Landing tonight. So, yeah, I'll do that. I'll probably play for $5 or $10, Gary. I mean, when you play it straight, you got to try to take advantage of it and really, kind of boost your multiples there, right? So yeah, I like that. There's Conley's ticket. He doesn't have Kraft made or his ticket, so again, I'll cheer for Conley. He's left that pick 5 as well if it can't be Kraft made, but I'll also play that single ticket that Gary just suggested for a few dollars. But you got a minute or so to map out your winning wagers for this early pick 4 sequence. Again, the pool's always has a low takeout of 15%. It's got a guarantee of $2,500. We'll be back in a few moments to take a closer look at the first of 3 divisions of the Prospect Series.
Field for the second on parade. One Cheese Party. Austin Sorry for Kyle Bossons. Number 2 is Fancy Lettering. Louis Bois for Chantel Mitchell and Dale Towell. Number 3, Tied Up at Mighty Burt McDonough for Gino Cicero. And number 4, Cheddar Crossing, Phil Houdon for John Pentland and Hut Racing. Number 5, Stag Broil, it's Anthony Hahn for Ken Skinner. Number 6, Where's My Phone? Travis Henry for Greg McNair and Ian Fleming. And number 7, Tamara Hanover. It's Todd Ratchford for Rod Boyd and a numbered company from Ottawa. Field of 7, race number 2. It's going to look at this field, and number 1, Cheese Party, is looking to make it a 4th consecutive win. Cheese Party's been really good of late. Austin Sorry for Kyle Bossons, and 4-5 on Cheese Party, Robert.
Yeah, I mean it's really tough to go against her on top, right? I mean the scene of her biggest victory of her career was right here at the river, obviously on the half-mile surface in the Battle of the Bells last season, and then she's kind of really gotten good as of late. I mean, I remember that she got interfered with in the stretch at Mohawk Park 4 starts ago, and that's when I jumped all over the horse purse drill. In her next effort, she crushed them by 4 lengths at a nice price of 2-1. 2 back, odds-on favorite, easy winner again last time out. She was taken out of the wagering due to a tote error, and she won as a non-betting interest. But just really in good form right now for Kyle Bossons, and that barn has success here. And she's kind of really hit her stride, and getting down to the Prospect Series obviously probably has helped that as well, right? I mean, we've got those 3 tiers now, and she's one that's kind of, competed at the grassroots before getting down to the Prospect Series later in this season, and it's really helped her out tremendously. So I think she's the one to beat, but odds on right now.
Fancy Lettering is not exactly without a chance in here. Look at 2 races ago, was beaten just a half a length to Cheese Party, and actually did a lot of work in that race.
Yeah, she did, and that was the thing about it. When I looked at this, I was just trying to, piece together again. When I'm playing these pick 4s, do I want a single Cheese Party answer tickets? And I did. But Fancy Lettering is when you can't discount, because you're right. When she got beat by a Cheese Party last time, I mean, she ends up going off as the favorite only because Cheese Party was a non-betting interest. but she did all the work, right? I mean, she fought hard to get to the lead in the early stages. She chopped out legit panels through the middle fractions, and then ends up only getting beat half a length. So, and she's got that start in between efforts too. So she should have a fitness edge over Cheese Party. And you get Louis Philippe Waugh, which doesn't hurt either, right? And he certainly threw his hat into the ring in the opening leg of the pick 5 tonight in race 1. So I think we'll see him blast off the wings of the gate here with fancy lettering as well. So clear choice underneath, and the one that can maybe cause the upset, but it'll be a mild one at that right now at 9-5.
And I guess I went out of order because your second choice is Stag Royal. I was just assuming it was fancy lettering, but look, fancy lettering's last race at Mohawk wasn't quite as good. So tell me about Stag Royal. This is one we've seen race really well here.
No, she's my second choice, Gary. Fancy lettering is the second choice. My picks are 1, 2, 6, and 5.
I just wrote it
1,
down
2,
wrong.
6, and 5.
Oh, there you
It's
go.
okay. It's all right.
I told
But
you,
no, so the
I'm a little rough gated, so let's go with.
We'll go to Where's My Phone next, the third choice.
That sounds like a plan.
And yeah, that's a good plan. But Where's My Phone is interesting because she could really bounce back here with a big effort. I mean, if you look at recent starts, I mean, she hasn't been able to go with Cheese Party, and she had to settle for the bottom end of the trifecta too. Cheese Party and Fancy Lettering, 2 back at Kawartha Downs. Kind of, if you look at her last 6, I mean, she's picked up some pieces, a couple on the board finishes, but it's not really the way she began the season, right? When she was racking up victories and kind of doing good things. I mean, that 53-3 mile over Mohawk Park back on June 18th, that was a real devastating win. I said, wow, she's going to really be a big time factor in the Prospect Series, but it hasn't panned out that way. She might bounce back with a better effort in here. To me, she's a clear third choice. You've got the 2 on the inside that might kind of vie for it early. Now, Where's My Phone will likely try to fire off the gate as well. But I think the 1 and 2 will decide it, and Where's My Phone can kind of be right there with them.
Number 5, Stag Royal, as I mentioned, was good here 2 races ago. Last race is the trailer post, so maybe you can just look past that one.
Yeah, we can usually forgive those, right? I mean, we're kind of forgiving from the trailer post or an outside draw. And she controlled. I mean, she's a horse that really seemed to thrive by getting, put into play 2 starts ago and even the start before that. And then last time out wasn't ever really able to get into the race. Now, she did kind of get some pretty soft fractions when she won on the engine in that class in between numbers of 1 numbers of 2 starts ago. I think she'll need a little bit of luck in here as well to get a big piece of it. To me, minor award is what I see her getting.
Well, it is a field of 7 and Cheese Party. Right now, the fans have partied that one all the way down to 4-5 on the board to Fancy Lettering's 8-5. It's Cheese Party and Fancy Lettering on the inside. Tiny but mighty Cheddar Crossing, Stag Royal in the center. The outside, Where's My Phone? Tamara Hanover. Field of 7, second dash on a Wednesday night. Horses are gathered in behind the gate, approaching the start. Field for the second race. 7 on the gate there at the start of the rough, and Cheddar Crossing will leave with Stag Royal. Where's My Phone? Then Fancy Lettering, Tiny but Mighty. Cheese Party is relaxed away 6th, and then Tamara Hanover. Cheddar Crossing is able to grab the lead. Stag Royal now crosses over in behind Cheddar Crossing to fill the pocket. Where's My Phone 3rd? Fancy Lettering 4th. Cheese Party is racing 5th. Then Tiny but Mighty and Tamara Hanover. Cheddar Crossing has the lead, but Where's My Phone wants to drive up now. Where's My Phone? Looking to delete Cheddar Crossing from the lead. And Fancy Lettering is up and moving already. Where's My Phone? Fancy Lettering. Fancy Lettering now sweeping on the outside, and Fancy Lettering is coming on to grab the lead. And now Cheese Party wants to join the party. It is Fancy Lettering and Cheese Party on the outside. And on the inside, Where's My Phone's in the pocket. Off at 27 quarter, the head to the half. Cheddar Crossing is 4th and Stag Royal 5th. Then it is Tiny but Mighty and Tamara Hanover. And now Cheese Party is going to challenge Fancy Lettering. Fancy Lettering's even money on the board. Cheese Party 4-5. Cheese Party and Fancy Lettering, they are going at it. And on the outside, that is Cheese Party. Fancy Lettering on the inside is fighting Cheese Party to the outside. Those two are having a separate battle from the rest of the field. And it is right now Cheese Party with a lead of a half a length. Fancy Lettering is game on the inside for Louis Waugh. 3/4, 124 off a half of 55-3. Cheese Cheese Party, Fancy Lettering. They are slugging it out. One of these two is going to be your winner. Cheese Party, Fancy Lettering, they turn for home. And Cheese Party on down the stretch drive they come. Cheese Party and Fancy Lettering. Cheese Party has the lead. Fancy Lettering hasn't thrown in the towel, but Cheese Party, holy mozzarella, that was a good race, and it goes to Cheese Party. Fancy Lettering was second. Tamara Hanover and Tiny but Mighty 153 and 4 to 5 of the board, but Cheese Party had to really be up to it, Robert.
Yeah, she did. But that's the way she's been racing, Gary. I mean, she really has been dynamite as of late. Really kind of coming to her own. Getting to the Prospect Series has helped, but I mean, she's really raised her game as well. It's going to be 4 in a row now. She completes the Grand Slam, and she does it. I mean, you want to say in style, or I mean, I guess that's what we can say, because she had to work really hard for that effort. I mean, she's first over. Fancy Lettering was throwing everything she had at her, and you could see, though, around the last turn, there's a point where Austin Story goes, "Okay, put the stick away. I'm good to go here." Like right there, she doesn't get touched again. She's gone at this point, and just a fantastic effort from Cheese Party. I mean, she coasts home 53 and 4, big mile here. She has to withstand that long first over move, and it wasn't one where she was sitting out there. She was engaged in a battle. We figured it'd be those two to decide it. Well, they were acres the best, and they end up finishing 1-2 at 4 to 5 and even money.
Yeah, that's a really interesting race as you're looking forward with Cheese Party, because that proves just how strong she is.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, obviously, she wins at Bombs Away Price last year, the Battle of Bells. I mean, she has a real good campaign with 5 on the board finishes, just one victory though, and 10 tries, 91,000 made. This year, she was had a rough start to the season. Sometimes it just kind of takes, that racehorse management to say, you know what, we're going to give her some easier competition to face. And wow, did she ever respond to it? And then lately, she's just kind of swelled up, confident every time she goes out there. And it doesn't matter what trip she gets, she overcomes and she gets the victory. And she's done it pretty easy. Even that win by a neck last time, that was measured. This time around, another measured victory. I mean, she's under wraps to the wire, doing really good things for Kyle Boston. So looking forward to see what she does going forward.
We both thought it was a two-horse race, and it really panned out that way. The rest of the race, I kind of missed it because I was watching those two.
Yeah, it was pretty easy to kind of not really have our eyes on the rest of them. But Tamara Hanover ends up coming through for the show spot, and Tiny but Mighty, longest shot on the board, rounds out the superfecta. So you got those two chalks in the top end of it. I mean, things can't pay all that insane at all when you got a couple of favorites like that, but it certainly helps when you get the longest prices on the bottom two spots.
And it is a 1-2-7-3 top 4. 1 Cheese Party, 3-year-old better than Cheddar Bay filly, owned and trained by Kyle Boston's Austin Sorey, is the winning driver. 5th win this year, 6th lifetime. Cheese Party. The second race, 1 Cheese Party, 390, 210, 210, 2 Fancy Lettering, 210, 210, 7 Tamara Hanover, 630, double of 8 and 1, 49.30. $2 race actor, $5.50. Dollar try, $30.95. Dollar super, $219.30. Second race order finish from the top down. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 in the bottom. That's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 in the bottom.
Winback Farm of Canada is home to 9 exceptional stallions, including Beach Glass, the last great son of legendary sire of sires, Some Beach Somewhere. Also new in 2024, Lawless Shadow, an O'Brien Award winner for 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings. Double millionaire betting line, sire of 5 winners of over $400,000. Mick Wicked, the richest pacing stallion in harness racing history, and Hall of Fame inductee. Trixton, sire of 6 who have earned over $500,000, including O'Brien Award winner Evident Beauty. Also standing Archangel, Better Than Cheddar, Better's Delight, and My MVP. For more information, winbackfarm.com.
Field for the third on parade. One, what's the point? Travis Henry for Wayne Henry and Henry Stable. Number 2 is Belvedere Franklin. Phil Houdon drives trains for Dr. Mike Veneri. Number 3 is Chip Happen, Daryl Thiessen for James McCaig and Jan McCaig-Weischer. And number 4 is Royal Candice, George Ketros drives trains for Titus Jancy. 5 is Lincoln's Landing, Steve Houdon for Laura Toscani and Gino Toscani. 6 is Century Isaiah, Ron Wepels Jr. for Dr. Sheila Atmore. Number 7, Fastnet Rock, Jason Ride for Matt DePuy, Lance Wells, and Lyndon Wells. And number 8 is Tamil Twister, Dave Boughton for Don Lindsay and Paul Lindsay. Field of 8, race number 3. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, number 5, Lincoln's Landing. 10-1 on the morning line, Rob. 6-5 on the board right now, and we both landed on this one on top.
Yeah, I think he merits respect in here, right? Looks pretty fired up on the track right now, too, which is probably a good sign because I think he's at his best when he gets forwardly placed. And last time out, did so in, I guess, a pretty tough group. The winner was It Don't Matter to Me, and Ancient Wall was second. She Trots a Lot third. I mean, that's a pretty solid group. We even kind of noted that was a strong version of non-winners of 2 that Lincoln's Landing had to take on. So for me, I figured he'd get bet, not to this extent, though. I thought he'd be a little bit higher on the odds board. But, yeah, everyone's enamored with him right now in the class drop at 6-5.
And I should mention that I don't see your picks when I make mine. I make mine quite early and send them. But Lincoln's Landing, we both landed there. But if you look back, the last time this one raced in this class, led a long way, and the only one that beat him was Veracruz. Well, Veracruz would cruise with this field, I believe. Number 2, Belvedere Franklin. That's one that, I could get electrified about.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this race here, like, honestly, I did think the Lincoln's Landing would get bet, but I thought we might see that one go off as, maybe a co-favorite with one like Belvedere Franklin, because Belvedere Franklin's been in good order as of late, right? I mean, last time out, the trip certainly didn't lend itself to a good result. And again, that was against It Don't Matter to Me, who won 2 in a row here and did so quite easily. So I'm not going to read too much into that 6th place finish. Before that, a pretty decent body of work here at the River of Victory and a couple of thirds, and then another third back in the middle of July. So Belvedere Franklin's one that I think will likely get, forwardly placed, or at worst maybe get away 3rd or 4th off the gate. And should definitely make his presence felt at some point in the mile. So those are the 2 that I thought, it might come down to. But again, this is, an event where we might see someone step up with a big effort that we aren't really expecting. And that's why, I mean, for me, Lincoln's Landing, I think might be full value in the multi-legs at that 10-1 morning line. But vertically, there's no value there at 6-5.
No, and you know where the value is right now is on 3, Chip Happen, because if Chip Happen stays flat, Chip Happen definitely has a chance to happen very nicely in this third dash.
I think so, because the effort in moving up to this Class 2 starts ago wasn't a poor one at all. Got away 5th off the gate from post 7, advanced the position again against that solid company. Winner was It Don't Matter to Me. Then last time out, took more support when getting a better post to work from, and made that miscue. So you get reunited with Daryl Thiessen tonight. He's got along well with Chip Happened, and we know this one likes to kind of, get to the front. And if he ever secures that front end trip here, he becomes really dangerous. And that's why I wanted him in my ticket. And I thought that he might kind of stay somewhere near his morning line, and he's within a decent margin of it right now at 8-1, now 9-1. He's one that's got a chance to really blow things up here.
And then what's the point? That was a good race that What's the Point was in with last time out, Santa Borrogio and Abicadabra. What's the Point actually didn't race all that badly. Gets the inside again. And overall, look, Travis Henry also added, and Travis is having a really good year.
He is, yeah. We don't have Travis Cullen, but we do have Travis Henry aboard. And, the interesting thing with this one is 2 starts ago, first start, back after a couple of months off, got away ninth off the gate, made up some ground to be seventh. I thought we'd see a better effort last time, and it was a better effort last time. Finished fourth from the same starting spot she has tonight, and I think she can be kind of in the mix throughout. 7-2 might be a tad short for my liking, but I do like what's the point to get a decent chunk of it here. The horse that kind of intrigues me a little bit. I mean, just for a flyer is the 4 Royal Candace. I mean, racing at Georgian Downs in recent efforts, and just kind of getting small pieces. But we saw a good effort from this horse in the middle of July here against Arcadia Sealster, and again, one that if she can ever get forwardly placed, she can maybe land somewhere in the exotics at a big number.
I used Timel Twister on the bottom of my ticket. I know stepping up in class, but really has come on nicely of late. We'll see how that pans out. What's the point? Belvedere Franklin should have happened on the inside. In the center, Royal Candace, Lincoln's Landing to the outside, Century, Isaiah, Fastnet Rock, Timel Twister. It's a field of 8. It's race number 3. Field for the third is at the start in the rough end. Lincoln's Landing. Belvedere Franklin. Chip Happened is right now third. Century Isaiah, What's the Point? Royal Candace, then Fastnet Rock and Timel Twister. Lincoln's Landing has landed the early lead and is in front by 3 1/4. Belvedere Franklin, Chip Happened, and What's the Point? Then it is Royal Candace and Century Isaiah. Fastnet Rock, Timel Twister is trailing the field. Lincoln's Landing 6-5 on the board has the lead as they race their way, heading towards us off a quarter of 27 4. And Belvedere Franklin is right there racing along, position second. Then Chip Happened and What's the Point? Field is spread out. Royal Candace fifth in front of Century Isaiah. Then Timel Twister, off stride Fastnet Rock. 27 4/4, they head to the half. Lincoln's Landing is on fire right now. Lincoln's Landing and Steve Houdon. And then it is Belvedere Franklin and Phil Houdon. The Houdons have the top 2 positions as they race past the half in 57. Chip Happened to the outside is racing third. What's the Point is fourth, and then Century Isaiah and Royal Candace and Timel Twister. But Lincoln's Landing continues on. Chip Happened is racing second and gets a little bit closer now. Is only 2 1/4 back off a half of 57. 3/4 was recorded by Lincoln's Landing in 1:26 1. Lincoln's Landing still looks sharp on the lead. In front a couple of lengths, Chip Happened. Belvedere Franklin weakens a little bit. What's the Point? Century Isaiah, Timel Twister. Lincoln's Landing still has work to do because Chip Happened is closing now. Lincoln's Landing, Chip Happened. Lincoln's Landing digging in though. Lincoln's Landing, Chip Happened. Lincoln's Landing was strong enough to hold off Chip Happened, and then it was Century Isaiah. Timel Twister, fourth, 156 4. Lincoln's Landing. Well, we don't get to that 10-1 morning line, but 6-5. But it's a strong and a confident win for Lincoln's Landing, Robert.
Yeah, it sure was. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we knew we weren't going to get that 10-1 morning line, but I'll tell you, those multi-leg wagers, I guarantee you this horse is a much, much bigger price than the 6-5 because people that kind of look through the program, they're going to see 10-1, or they're going to kind of use the morning line as a guide. And those ones kind of might miss this one because of that, especially when you see recent efforts. Might not notice that it was a drop down in class and that this horse had success at this level before. Just 1 for 21, 2 in the career. But now a good victory this time out and wanted to control it through. It looked fired up on the track before the race and made every call a winning one. But Chip Happened, the one that we thought could really maybe make some noise at a price, ends up being a good second there. First over on the backside for the final time and then was able to secure that 2-hole trip behind this one. And then went on the attack in the stretch, and I thought made a real good account of himself. Gets along well with Daryl Thiessen. We'll watch for this one next time out.
I thought you were right to include that one, and maybe I was a little too harsh about that break last time out because if Chip Happened stayed flat, I expected Chip Happened to be right in the hunt.
Yeah, and he's been racing, really well, in recent efforts, and Daryl Thiessen's gotten along fantastic with them. I mean, this is now going to be the 5th start they've been together, 4 on the board finishes, no worse than 4th over that span as well. And here's a race here where we kind of thought that, on paper, it kind of looked like it might be, wide open other than Lincoln's Landing. Well, 10 to 1, 30 to 1, 11 to 1. This super and try should pay very well because prices everywhere underneath this one.
And Time Will Twister gets on the board.
Yeah, gets on the bottom end of it, fourth. Tough post this time. Gets acclimated to this level. Probably be better for it next time.
Back in front of us, number 5, Lincoln's Landing, 3-year-old Tactical Landing. Brown colt owned by Gino Toscani and Laura Toscani, the trainer. Steve Houdon's the winning driver. It is the second win this year in second lifetime. Lincoln's Landing, 156-4. Third race payouts 5 Lincoln's Landing 440, 310, 330. 3 Chip Happen $785. 6 Century Isaiah $920. $2 Actor $24.20. Dollar Try 100 $38.85. Dollar Super 1100 $14.30. 20-cent Supers $222.86. Third race, order of finish from the top, 562-71384. That's 562-71384. Field for the fourth on parade. One lockdown Romeo. Bruce Richardson for John Holding and Morley Bosworth. Number 2 is Craft Made. Louis Bois for Luke Blaine. Determination. 3-star Hairdresser Austin Surrey for Rick Ziron and John Donato. 4 is Fantastic MVP Todd Ratchford for Jack Moisevan High Stakes Incorporated. 5 Enchanted Angel Travis Henry for Mark Etzel and Robert Newton in Chantan. Number 6 Showed Holiday Brian Holiday for Dave Holiday and Caroline Holiday and Dr. Paul Rutherford. Number 7, Sant'Ambrosio, Brett Medana for Dan O'Brien. And a parade is Ancient Wall, Phil Houdon for Kyle Rule and Triple S Equi. It's a field of 8, race number 4. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, Robert, that single idea that I had for the pick 4 is halfway through, but Craft Made looked kind of rough in the post parade. Now, how does he look to you?
Looks better right now, I think. Looks a little better right now. Well, I mean, I like to score down, right? We see Louis-Philippe was scoring this one down to get a feel for him. I mean, he obviously wasn't on him at Rideau Carlton when he came home. Very nice to be second, but he looks pretty good right there. A little bit rough at times, but again, he's also one that hasn't raced. But before his latest, he hadn't raced in almost a year. $610,000 yearling purchase, and obviously hasn't panned out to that, but did show some decent flashes, last year. And I think that we'll see him do good things in here. Now, again, if I'm betting him, I mean, I'm not betting him at 3 to 5. He was one that was a play in the multi legs, and I'd watch him off the gate too if I was going to play him in exotics and stuff like that, because again, I think if he does make that miscue, it's going to be early. You see all the miscues on the page before the start. So I think he looks pretty good out there, though, and with a flat line and anything close to what he's capable of, he should be able to handle this group, and that's why he's 3 to 5 right now.
The one that I went to on top, your second choice for Fantastic MVP, a fantastic value right now. It can't hold at 16 to 1, can it?
You wouldn't think so. I mean, I don't think he should be that priced by any stretch, because I mean, the pop-up last time, you can just kind of ignore it. I mean, Cool Clifford wins in there. I think Cool Clifford would, be able to handle this group. And before that, no owners of 3 lines. I mean, he's facing Goober Smack and All-Star Goldie. We know what those horses have been able to do. Now, he is one that's a little bit camera shy, obviously. 1 for 20 this year and 2 for 39 over the last 2 seasons, but he hits the board with all kinds of frequencies. So I love him as a play underneath in here. I think that he's got that tactical speed. That can get him into a good spot as well. I mean, you can ignore the latest line where he gets away 9th off the gate because it's against Tuffer and from post 7 at Mohawk Park. I just think we're going to see him get put into play in this spot this evening. So he'd be the one that I'd probably back if I kind of saw Craft Made look a little bit, iffy behind the gate. And 16 to 1 is, like you said, it's value and then some on Fantastic MVP.
Well, if you want to talk about value, Ancient Wall at 35 to 1. If Craft Made makes a break, look, Ancient Wall was 14 lengths back the quarter last time out and came on to finish second to a standout. It don't matter to me. So if we get rid of the standout here, Craft Made, maybe Ancient Wall at 35 to 1 can be the play.
Yeah, and if you remember what I said about Ancient Wall before that race, I said, love the horse, hate the post, because he's one that I think has to be forwardly placed or maybe even on the engine to be effective. Well, he was effective from off the pace. He finished second to It Don't Matter to Me, who I think if It Don't Matter to Me was in here, and Craft Made wasn't, or even if he was, would be taking a lot of support, because we saw that filly do really nice things here at the River. Not the smoothest going trotter by any stretch of the imagination, but she got the job done and really wasn't even, I think, close to her top gear in those efforts because she was trying to stay flat. But Ancient Wall now gets nose back on gate. And even though it is post 8, he's capable of kind of, blasting out of there and maybe going to the early lead or at least getting a decent spot off the switch. So Yeah, 30-1 on Ancient Wall. I mean, he does not look out of place against this group, and he's been doing good things for Kyle Rule. And I'd have no problem using this one in the exotics and maybe even putting a few bucks to win on him.
Another one that the odds don't match the talent is 5 Enchanted Angel, but there's a reason for that. Enchanted Angel also is one that makes breaks. But Enchanted Angel, when she stays flat, she can be large and doesn't have to deal with the trailer post that she did last time out.
Yeah, and I mean, if you would think if she was going to run, it'd be maybe last time out trailing posts and kind of navigating traffic early, right, to try to get to the lead. And I thought it was a kind of a magical job by Travis Henry to get her to the front. When she made front, I said, "Oh, she might just be able to crush these now." You know, she faded back to third in a race won by Veracruz. And Enchanted Angel, I think, is not one you can ever rule out. I mean, that start two efforts ago. She comes back to that one. She could really give these all they can handle. So, again, a race where I'd watch them off the gate, all of them, because a lot of these horses, I mean, the ones that make miscues sometimes do it early. But Enchanted Angel, another one, inflated odds right now at 10-1.
And a quick thought, I used Showed Holiday high up on my ticket second. Didn't race as well last race, but a lot of talent.
Yeah, lots of talent there. I mean, I think needs kind of an easier trip, but that's that win two back. I mean, it was a kind of a soft trip that kind of worked out last time out. Had to do a lot more work and faded to fifth. So it gets the right kind of trip. Can be right there at the wire, but I think an over bet at 3-1.
It's an interesting field with the Kraft Maid right now as the 4-5 betting favorite, and a field of 8 as they're turning into the backstretch, and Kraft Maid is up close onto the gate, along with the rest of the trotters. Field for the fourth race is at the start and they're off, and Enchanted Angel broke stride. Sant'Ambrosio is going to blast. Fantastic MVP is out well. Lockdown Romeo, Showed Holiday. Kraft Maid is smooth and is fifth right now. Then Star Hairdresser. And then it is Enchanted Angel and Ancient Wall. Lockdown Romeo, thou art off stride. Sant'Ambrosio's got the lead. Fantastic MVP is in a fantastic spot on the back of Sant'Ambrosio as they race off the turn. Showed Holiday is positioned to third, and then going racing fourth right now is Kraft Maid, and now it is Star Hairdresser popping to the outside, and Ancient Wall goes to the outside as well. And they work their way up towards the half of a 27-2 opening quarter. And it is right now Sant'Ambrosio with the lead. Fantastic MVP is second. Star Hairdresser now on the outside is moving up, and Star Hairdresser has come on and is taken over second. Fantastic MVP on the inside is racing third. Then Ancient Wall second over fourth on the inside. Showed Holiday. Kraft Maid is racing sixth. They race on to three-quarters. Sant'Ambrosio at 50-1 leads as they head on to three-quarters. The advantage is about 2.5, and Star Hairdresser is clipping along in second. Fantastic MVP is third. Ancient Wall fourth, and then Showed Holiday and Kraft Maid. And it is still Sant'Ambrosio. 127-2 for three-quarters. Sant'Ambrosio. Star Hairdresser. Fantastic MVP. Now Kraft Maid is looking to whiz right up into contention as they turn for home. And Kraft Maid is coming. Sant'Ambrosio. Star Hairdresser, and Kraft Maid as they come to the finish. It is going to be Kraft Maid on the outside to make it close. And Kraft Maid whizzed right on by to get there. Then Sant'Ambrosio and Star Hairdresser and Ancient Wall. 157-4. Kraft Maid made it in time, Robert.
Yeah, in time, but one of those ones where you're kind of cursing life throughout the trip, aren't you? I mean, he ends up getting away smoothly, like you called, Gary, but then doesn't leave the cones. But again, obviously, first order of business is to obviously have him stay on his gate. I mean, he's had lots of problems making breaks and strides throughout his career. His last two starts last season, made those miscues, then miscue in a qualifier. I thought it looked fantastic at Rito Carlton. Similar trip tonight, though, right? Kind of just sat out of it and just waited until the end. And you see Louis kind of doesn't really ask him all that much. Just has to kind of get him straightened away. The minute he gets him straightened away, he accelerates past the field, does it on his own. Which, again, not the trip I was hoping for or expected, but it still worked out in the end. But he's 1-2 on the board, and probably those types aren't worth the sweat sometimes, right? But Kraft Maid, I think, handles the group with ease in the end. A lot of trotters don't win from that kind of spot here at the river, but he does, and he gets there just in time.
I'll tell you, Santa Ambrosio, I mean, 50 to 1 on the board. And look at the last two races here, were really good. Santa Ambrosio has gate speed blasted from post 7. We're going to have to keep an eye on Santa Ambrosio. Don't let this one get to 50 to 1.
Well, we definitely do. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this is a horse that I was very fond of early in her career. I still remember when she crushed the Prospect Series final at Western Fair in 2022 when she was a rookie. And I talked to Dan O'Brien in the Winner's Circle, and he was very high on her. She was okay at 3, and then just kind of didn't really come back all that great earlier on this season. But now has turned it around, and since Brett McDonald's kind of been teamed with her, she's kind of all of a sudden developed some really nice speed off the gate, and she sticks around for big pieces. 50 to 1, yeah, she shouldn't go off of that price again.
Well, and that singled up pick 4 is still alive into the last leg of the pick 4 with Royal Beluga.
I did it. I mean, I told you I was going to do it. I did it for $10. So hopefully your strategy works out here, Gary.
It's a 2-7-3-8 top 4. Back in front of us is number 2, Craft Made, 4-year-old Walner Brown horse, owned by Determination Stable. Luke Blaze, the trainer. Louis was the winning driver. Craft Made made it home in front in 157-4. The fourth race payouts 2, Craft Made, $3, 240, 220. 7 Sant Ambrosio, 22.20 and 12.80, and 3-star Hairdresser pays $3.80. $2 exactor, $97.80. Dollar try, $178.40. Dollar super, $924.95. Fourth race, or finish from the top down, 81357 That's 81357 on the bottom. Field for the fifth race. On parade, one Danish Brew. Blair Burgess drives and trains for David Anderson and Sterling Fisher. Number 2 is Pillow Thief. J.B. Renault for Julie Walker and Elizabeth Sheeland. Three, Southwind Franz, Austin Sorry for Dominique Gladue and Francois Dupuis. 4 is Overrand, Brett McDonald for Ron McDonald and Nicholas Malcolm. 5 is Hummock Swanky, Louis Bois for Vic Putty and Hummock Farms and Brian Foley. Number 6, Royal Beluga, Mark Etzel drives and trains for Harbor Racing. 7 is Fly Higher, Doug Henryson for Mike Rivet and Gary Silifant. 8 is Campari Hanover Pat Hudon for Gary Kingshot. And 9 is Cadabra Kaboom, Phil Hudon for Jody Cullen and Timmy Aspin and Murray Nielsen. Field of 9, race number 5, the final leg of the pick 5, as well as the pick 4 and pick 3. And, well, let's get right to Royal Beluga. A nice potential return on a pick 4 is if you've got the first 3 legs down on the single ticket that we mentioned. 36 times your money would be okay.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I'd be pretty happy when you can bet something for $1 and get that kind of return, Gary. I mean, that's what you're looking for in this game, and when it is going to be favorites. I mean, I think I said Lincoln's Landing. I don't think was as heavy favorite in the multis as he was vertically. So yeah, it'd be nice to get Royal Beluga down here. And here's the thing. I mean, it comes down to if he's going to trot or not. I mean, we've seen this horse do some pretty good things when he does mind his manners, whether it be in qualifiers or even in his lifetime debut. He ended up finishing third in the first leg of the Millard Farms, and he did so against obviously a really strong group in there. He got bet down to 8-5 non-winners won at Mohawk Park in August of last year. Made a break there, and then just really hasn't been able to keep it together in qualifiers or anything. They tried it with trotting hobbles in 2 in a row here at Grand River. Didn't work out. Now he's qualified without them. He's going to race without them tonight. I thought he looked great in the qualifier, and the horse that got up in the final strides was Timo Riggs, who would be one to anything against this group. So I like Royal Beluga here, but we're going to probably know pretty early what his chances are.
Well, and it's nice to have your chances riding on Mark Etzel. That's a pretty decent play. Now, number 2, Pillow Thief could steal your money because Pillow Thief is one that raced pretty well. Of course, if Royal Beluga stays flat. But Pillow Thief is one that, if Royal Beluga does make a miscue, Pillow Thief is one that definitely could steal the 5th race.
I think so. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? When you look at this here, though, like even for the kind of the depths of the field, I mean, Pillow Thief's been 3-1, 10-1. Now he's 3-2. Right, so it kind of just shows that, I mean, the betting public thinks it's a softer group, which even I think makes me even like Royal Beluga even more, especially at 4-1. But Pillow Thief is one I've been chasing. I've been all over this one in each of his last 2, and was fond of this one last year through those 12 efforts, but wasn't able to get the job done. So 0 for 14 so far in his career, but certainly not a testament to how he is as a racehorse, because I thought he's really put forth some really fine efforts. And again, I don't mind him being the favorite in here. He's kind of a little more sure-footed than Royal Beluga. He's got a good draw to work from and raced for a barn that's been winning a lot of races this season. So Pillow Thief, clear choice underneath for me, and one that I was using in my pick 5 and pick 4 wagers.
I went to number 4, Over End on top. That last start at Georgian Downs was pretty solid. And 59-4, don't be comparing times to Grand River. Over End at Georgian Downs.
Yeah, I think Over End's one you've got to definitely be mindful of in here. A big time step forward last time when getting to softer company at Georgian Downs. And like you said, 59-4 there probably equates to a better mile here, which would maybe put him right in the winner's circle. Second to PC Peterbilt on that occasion. Before that was racing tougher at Mohawk Park, and now third start of his sophomore campaign, and could be bound for good things. Second choice in the betting right now at 5-2. Can be in the mix throughout. Another one, though, to keep an eye on behind the gate.
And Ronald McDonald sends out a lot of horses that are ready to get the job done.
Oh, certainly does. I mean, big numbers, right? 307. I mean, look at the trainers that we've talked about so far in this race. Royal Beluga, Mark Etzel, 336. Pillow Thief, Julie Walker, 324. And Ron McDonald, 307. So, I mean, we're in the right category with the trainers all batting above 300.
Well, if we're going to go to trainers batting above 300, we got to talk about Jody Cullen and Cadabra Kaboom.
Yeah, here's a Robert Off angle, isn't it? I mean, you know me, I love the Cullen barn, and this is a horse I've been fond of. Second to Time All Twister last time. Now, good form reference, because we saw that one race pretty well moving up in class. Wasn't able to do better than fourth, but I think a pretty good showing for Time All Twister tonight. Cadabra Kaboom, I thought just, kind of couldn't get to that one last time, and it was in the same boat against Chip Happen 2 starts ago. Trailing post, tricky starting spot. You pick up Phil Hudon tonight. If he's in striking distance, he can maybe get there. I think bottom end of the exotics, maybe the try or definitely the high five. But I'll be watching him closely. Robert Offengle, one I'm very fond of.
And Southwind Franz, you added on to the pick five. Logic there because 3 consecutive top fours.
Yeah, he's a horse that I think you've got to throw into the mix. I mean, he's been consistently picking up pieces, and he should be able to make his presence felt throughout.
And can get off the gate well, gets a better post position as well. Field of 9 trotters for race number 5. They're into the backstretch. Field for race number 5. Is at the start, and they're off and moving out alertly. Southwind Franz, and now we have a break in stride by Over End, and on the inside Danish Brew. Over End now is taken to the outside, and third is Pillow Thief, and then Royal Beluga is racing positioned fourth, and fifth is Hamak Swanky, then Fly Higher and Campari Hanover, and it is Southwind Franz with Danish Brew. Royal Beluga didn't want to see along to the inside, and Mark Etzel wants to send this one towards the front. And now Pillow Thief has gone off stride, and it is Royal Beluga driving up on the outside for Mark Etzel, and Royal Beluga is going to be planted on the lead. Royal Beluga, Southwind Franz, and Danish Brew. Then it is Halmax Swanky and Fly Higher and Campari Hanover. Field works their way on into the backstretch, 29 quarter. They roll past the half with Royal Beluga at 3-1 on the board. Southwind Franz at 24-1 is second, and Danish Brew at 45-1 is third. But it is Royal Beluga smooth on top right now, 58 the halftime, equal splits of 29. Royal Beluga leading, and Southwind Franz is second. Danish Brew is third, and racing fourth is Hamak Swanky. And then it is back to Fly Higher and Campari Hanover. Royal Beluga and Mark Etzel looks pretty confident in the bike right now. No urging required for Royal Beluga, who is still smooth. 127 and 1 3/4. And Royal Beluga lets it out a notch. Royal Beluga, how Max Swanky and Louis Waugh is out there 3 wide, but it's all Royal Beluga right now. And then Southwind Franz tries to stay into the top 4. Royal Beluga coasting on down the stretch drive. Royal Beluga, in a royally smooth effort, dominates and wins it. How Max Swanky second, Danish Brew third, Southwind Franz is fourth, and Fly Higher is fifth. A mile of 157, Royal Beluga, and a happy Robert.
Yeah, definitely a little happier over here after that one, Gary. Here's the thing, right? I said it, Royal Beluga, qualifier, Timo Riggs, I mean, he would absolutely have his way with this group. If he stayed flat, he will win. 3-1 was probably, good for a risk to reward on this one. I mean, he lays over them if he can stay on the trot, and he does so tonight. And by the way, Mark Etzel and Royal Beluga, full marks. I mean, Over End jumps it off, and then I think they didn't know if he was going to stay inside or outside. Ends up going to the outside right in front of Royal Beluga. He put a little slight stutter step in. I was like, oh my God, my hopes and dreams are going to crash down like this after he looked so smooth off the gate. He ends up staying down and then getting to the lead and just dominating. And the funny thing is, I mean, wow, Gary, if I go 4 deep in that first leg of the pick 5, then this is a real big night. Pick 5's paying tremendous on this one. And the pick 4, not so bad really for $1.35. And hey, I'm happy that you mentioned to me I should play it straight. I played it straight, and it's not bad when you can get a 36-1 shot down on a straight pick 4 ticket.
Well, 3 straights that really stood out in terms of their ability, and then one Lincoln's Landing that we both agreed on was just the wrong price in the morning line, which helps, as you mentioned, that people look at those morning lines and get a little bit leaning in a different direction.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I mean, I guess really the only qualm you can have with the payout is the fact that Pillow Thief's paying $30, Royal Beluga's paying $36. There's a pretty big discrepancy between their price tier. But look at that, the high five. Now this is interesting. I love jumping on the high five wagers. I did a little bit here with Royal Beluga on top, but I couldn't find the horse underneath. And if you found them, whoever's out there that maybe did that, well, congratulations. You're likely in store for a real big payout. There's $6,000 in the pool. We'll see if someone has that
That
combination.
is massive. Southwind Franz, I did think would be able to be in the ticket because gets off the gate. Southwind Franz was okay, but some of the others, I don't look. But also, things went that way with Pillow Thief making that break, and but you got to be happy with Royal Beluga.
Oh, absolutely. No, listen, it didn't matter. If he trots, they weren't beating him. Pillow Thief wasn't beating him. Neither was Over End. They just end up, making a little bit of an easier path for Royal Beluga. And on top of that, really blows up the exotics. I mean, who would have thought those are the two that run and he stays flat? I mean, he's been one that just has all kinds of ability, just can't get it together. Well, there's the man that can get it together for him, Mark Etzel. Tremendous with trotters, especially younger ones, and hopefully Royal Beluga keeps on winning for the Etzel barn.
Well, back-to-back races with trotters that we were uncertain of. Craft Made stayed flat, and also as did Royal Beluga. And back in the winner's circle, Royal Beluga, 3-year-old Tactical Landing Bay Gelding, Harbor Racing, and Mark Etzel owned. Mark Etzel, the trainer, and the winning driver, Royal Beluga. First win in a couple of years, 157 flat. The fifth race payout: 6 Royal Beluga, 8, 10, 770, and 490. 5 Howback Swanky, 13, 10, 621, Danish Brew, 480. Dollar pick 4, 36.15. Dollar pick 5, $521. 20-cent high 5. Well, we'll get to it in a second. $2 exactor, $125.20. Dollar try, $454. That 20-cent high 5 is $2,165.41. The fifth race, or a finish from the top, 3, 9 place 8, 4, 7 place 9, 2, 1, 5, 6, 8 place 7, scratch. From the top down, 3, 8, 4, 9, 2, 1, 5, 6, 7 on the bottom.
Royal Beluga proved to be too much for them in race number 5. Nice price, 3-1 winner, 8-10 on the win ticket. The high 5 over $2,000 for 20 cents. Pick 5 I thought paid pretty well tonight as well, 104 for 20 cents. Pick 4, $7.23 for 20 cents. And shout out to Gary. He gave me the advice to just press my numbers over the next 4 legs and a straight ticket I did it for $10. And not so bad, right? $36 for a buck. That's $3.60 for a $10 ticket. You can't get better value than that. So, assist my man Gary if you're putting that idea in my head before the start of the early pick 4. But it's a late pick 5 now, low takeout, 15%, back half of the card. And there's my single right away, right here in race number 6 of 4, defining the moment. Winner 2 back in not only is a 17,000 life at Mohawk Park, then a good third last time. Louis-Philippe Bois tonight here at the River Prospect Series. Good to go, I think, for defining the moment. Going to single that one. I think it's a 2-horse race between her and Distant Lover. We want to try to put us on the right side of EV by singling one of them, not using both of them. We're going to do that with defining the moment. 1 and 4 in race number 7. That's JG's Pal and Vera Cruz. I think those two decided in there. 1, 3, and 6 in race number 8. Giving the edge to the 1 Kitty's Column, thinking that one's been racing better than advertised, but going 3 deep in that one. Race 9, just the 7 and the 8. Outside of the 8, Archangels Gliding and Am I Radical. Do you think there's maybe some other possibilities there, but didn't want to spend too much money. And then that money leg, the final leg, we're going 5 deep. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7. Going to go back to DM Snake Plissken from an inside draw. He might be at a pace disadvantage again, though. Intrigued by the 4 Wizard of Bots, but we're going to go 5 and hope we get one of the bigger prices down for $5 and $12 for a 20-cent ticket. We'll see what Conley has in store. Now, Conley, I think, would have been able to run out that ticket if he had Lightcraft made. Actually, didn't use Royal Beluga either, so we had to get together because he did have the winner of the first leg. But there's his late pick 5 ticket, 3-4-5 here in the opening leg. So he's going deep in this one to get through in the Prospect Series event. Then 1, 4, and 6 in race number 7. So he adds the 6 All-Star Goldie, a speed threat in there. Just the 3 in race number 8. That's always a catch. Coming out of condition claimers at Mohawk Park. 1, 4, 5, and 7 in race number 9. So kind of spreading out in that one. I don't mind that. Kind of maybe a little more wide open than I have it with just 2 horses. And then 4, 5, 7 in the finale. Wizard of Bots, Montrego, and Smart Thinking. Don't mind that at all, but I am obviously on DM Snake Plissken. Had to come back to that one. Last time out, it just didn't work out. I think maybe it can tonight. $21.60 for a 20-cent ticket for Conley. Sometimes he takes a shot. He's doing so tonight in this late pick 5. You got a Minnesota map out your winning wagers, though, for the late pick 5. Low takeout 15%. We'll come back in just a few moments to take a closer look at race number 6.
Field 4, race number 6. On parade 1, on top, Rainstorm, Mike Whalen for Walter Whalen and Chris Nickel. Number 2 is Ace 44 Ladies, semi-filling for Ken Fritsch and Clayton Fritsch and Jim Wilson, number carrier. Number 3, Distant Lover, Austin Surrey for Greg McNair and Evans Nation. 4 is Defining the Moment, Louis Bois for Roger Mayotte and Louis Liboneau and Larry Curtis and Ben Boudry. 5 is Lebec Finn, Brett McDonough for Rodney Hughes and Howard Taylor. And number 6, Porch Pirate, Travis Embry for John Pentland and VMB Stable and Alan Bowden. It is a field of 6 for race number 6. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, Rob, I was stalling a little bit because I didn't write down who you have. And, I found it, and it is in this 6th race, number 4, Defining the Moment. And I think that's pretty logical. 4 to 5, Louis Bois.
Yeah, I think it's pretty logical too, Gary. I mean, it came down to 2 horses for me, Defining the Moment or Distant Lover. And I just really like what Defining the Moment's done in each of her last 2. And even that victory 5 starts ago, known as the one was a good one as well. She's kind of raised her game as of late, and she's showed a lot more fight when she gets put into play and goes even to the lead 2 back. And I think that's going to be the game plan tonight for Louis Philippe Bois, who's been having himself, pretty good night at the office here at Grand River, and is obviously a nice addition to our Wednesday night card here. Defining the Moment right now, we might see a score down from this one, and again, to me, the hope is she goes forward off the gate and tries to chop this out, and I kind of thought this looks like it's a 2-horse race between her and Distant Lover. When 2 horses are going to take support, though, I don't want to typically take them both, especially in the first leg of a sequence. Because it kind of kills your opportunity down the road, and especially to find some values. So we're going to go alone on Defining the Moment here and hope she can get us down as a single in the first leg of the late pick 5.
And there is a pretty smooth-looking score down right now for Defining the Moment. The thing with Distant Lover, why you could argue to use this one for second, is because, well, she's got a bit of a case of seconditis. In fact, some close to seconds. A neck June the 30th, and then another neck and a nose and a neck last time out. So coming close.
Yeah, it has been. And, even that victory 2 back, only by half a length. And I mean, she was getting swarmed too, kind of late in the mile on that one. She just missed the Cheese Party last time, though, so that's kind of a good form reference. We saw that one come back and be dominant tonight. And Cheese Party beat her 3 starts ago as well. So, I mean, again, there's good form references there. But like you said, I mean, last season 3 for 4, if you remember, she was one that was kind of highly regarded in this tier of the OSS program. I think favorite too from a tough post in the final of the Prospect Series. Ended up finishing 3rd, and that was her first defeat. And then this year now, just 2 for 15, but 10 top 2 finishes. So she's obviously the main danger here. And again, she deserves respect on the odds board as well. I think they'll be pretty close come post time. I would say maybe right there right now might be where they end up, 4 to 5, 8 to 5 kind of thing. But I think they'll be the 2 that decide it, just like we saw earlier on Fancy Lettering and Cheese Party.
And what do we love to do when we have 2 favorites? We like to split them on the exactor. Could we squeeze On Top Rainstorm maybe between those 2?
I think so. I've always kind of been a fan of the horse, and certainly she did okay 2 starts ago in the Prospect Series. I mean, she was 3rd to Distant Lover, but I thought a decent 3rd at that at 7-1. Last time out, just missed by a head to first cast at Georgian Downs and Allers at 2. I think On Top Rainstorm, she's kind of a sneaky good filly. I mean, she's hit the board 4 of 9 this year, and I thought raced better than advertised last season as well. So pole position might be able to kind of get the the better trip of her rivals in here, and who knows, maybe she can split the two favorites. That would certainly help the exotics.
I think the big thing with her is she's been improving and also getting away from where she may not fit as well. If you look at the odds board, you see some pretty long odds, and the last couple times certainly was more in appropriate company for On Top Rainstorm. Number 2, Ace 44 Lady, though, was second, beaten only a half a length to Distant Lover last race at Kawartha.
Yeah, I thought raced pretty well there as well. Right now, you're getting the value on that one at 7-1. Obviously, a better number than our two favorites right now. 6 for 19 this year. So I mean, she's the horse that's found the winner's circle the most times out of any of these fillies, and she's hit the board in 12 of 19. So she hasn't done much wrong all season. I just kind of thought she might be on the outside looking in against this group tonight, and maybe settle for the bottom end of the try or maybe the super. But again, yeah, 8-1. I mean, I wouldn't begrudge anyone for taking a crack on her, but I think it comes down to Distant Lover defining the moment.
I know we talk about a bunch in here, but Lebec Finn's last race at Georgian was amazing.
Yeah, it was a big effort from post 9, legit fractions as well. I mean, over 16 on the year. I've backed her quite a few times in her career, just 1 for 26. I might be holding that against her.
Well, we'll see. It's a field of 6, race number 6. They're into the backstretch, nearing the start. Field for the 6th race is at the start in the rough, and Lebec Finn's going to blast out Ace 44 Lady, then defining the moment, Distant Lover, On Top Rainstorm, and Porch Pirate is on the back porch as they race their way on around the turn. Defining the moment right now has got the lead. Ace 44 Lady fills the pocket. Distant Lover third. On Top Rainstorm. Lebec Finn left and then had to take back to find a seat on the inside. Second from last in front of Porch Pirate, who's still there on the back porch as they race off the turn. Heading on towards us. Defining the moment in Louis Bois. Opening quarter was 28 seconds. Defining the moment. Ace 44 Lady is racing second. Distant Lover is going to pop to the outside right now. And On Top Rainstorm is racing position to fourth and is angled towards the outside as they work their way up towards the half and defining the moment. And Distant Lover to challenge. Half of 57-4. Ace 44 Lady is third. On Top Rainstorm fourth. Then Lebec Finn and Porch Pirate. And now On Top Rainstorm is moving up now and is moving up tight on the back of Distant Lover, who's come on to within about a head of Defining the Moment. Defining the Moment and Distant Lover, Ace 44 Lady. On Top Rainstorm, Porch Pirate, and Lebec Finn is now last, and they're bunched up as they head to 3/4, and it is Defining the Moment who has the lead over Distant Lover, who is trying to wear down Defining Moment and is getting closer. Defining the Moment and Distant Lover. Ace 44 Lady, On Top Rainstorm, Porch Pirate, and Lebec Finn in the turn for home. Defining the Moment as they come on down the stretch. Drive is sharp right now, and it is Defining the Moment who continues on, and Defining the Moment was definitely the best one in here. Defining the Moment. On Top Rainstorm picks up second. Distant Lover third, and closed for fourth. 155 flat. Defining the Moment was the one that defined the 6th race the best.
Yeah, absolutely did. And you can kind of see the body language between Louis-Philippe Bois and Austin Story in the final turn. Just a matter of time before Defining the Moment kind of opened up. Distant Lover first over a long way to that rival, and I mean, made a good go of it, but you could see that she was going to leave her at some point, and she certainly did. A little bit different than what we saw earlier when it was kind of two that kind of stood out on paper. Whereas they kind of went to battle and opened up from the field. These ones, I think Louis was kind of being a little strategic and kind of using Distant Lover as a pick for much of that first over journey, and then just said goodbye to her in the final turn. But we talked about who could we get underneath, maybe at a price on Top Rainstorm. Well, everything's just kind of working out tonight, isn't it, Gary? It's nice when a plan comes together.
Yeah, and also, you know what? There was no value in taking the 4-3 exactor. The 4-1 is the proper play because going what I describe as A-B, that's usually mathematically not a good return on investment in the exactor.
No, it never is, or even any of the exotics for that matter, right? I mean, obviously you can play it for bigger denominations, but you're right. I mean, you're looking at a $2 exacta 4-3 is $5. You're getting 3 to 2 on that, or you can take a much bigger number at 8-1, $18 payout on a $2 wager on 4-1. And obviously, it helps with the trifecta in the super as well when you play that favorite back one position, which wasn't hard to do here. And I said, as long as On Top Rainstorm gets the favorable journey, second over trip behind Distant Lover, well, guess what? Fires past that tired rival in the stretch, the deep stretch, to get up for second at 12-1.
I think the other reason why betting the second best horse to finish on the exactor ticket underneath isn't a good play is because oftentimes they're just good enough to maybe try to beat the winner and then falter late because of that. Whereas the next further down horses, they come up and pick a spot because they don't really challenge the winner and force the issue as much.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, that's a lot of guys kind of always try to split the favorites, or even I think Brad A from Chicago, who is always following our circuit, calls it the chalk bomb chalk. This isn't really a good example because it's only 12-1 shot of between. It's a short field, but yeah, I mean that's a strategy for a lot of players to say, what, if they hook up, one of them might miss out, which Distant Lever did here, missed out on second, and On Top Rainstorm is able to walk through the door to claim the play spot.
It's a 4-1-3-2 top four, and back in front of us, number 4, defining the moment, a 3-year-old, Control the Moment, Bay Philly, owned by Roger Mayotte and Ben Boudry and Louis Limino and Larry Curtis. Roger Mayotte's the trainer. Louis Waugh, the winning driver, third win this year for Defining the Moment, and third lifetime. Mile of 155. Sixth race payouts for Defining the Moment, 330, 290, 210. 1 On Top Rainstorm, 560 and 260, and 3 Distant Lover, 210, $2 exactor, 1820. Dollar Triumph, 1335. Dollar Super, 3120. Sixth race, or a finish from the top, 243165. That's 243165.
Defining the moment gets the job done as the odds-on favorite in race number 6. Good to start off a sequence with a single, even at a short price. But we're still going to jump in the late pick 4, starting right here in race number 7. Low takeout 15%. There's my ticket. No singles though. Now you know how much I hate that. I don't like not having a single, but that's the way it's going to shake out here. The 1-4 here, Veracruz and JG's Pal might actually single the 4 JG's Pal into a few tickets. Louis Philippe Bois having a fantastic night so far. I think he's got 2 wins in 3 seconds so far. Got a live one here with JG's Pal. Too deep, though, for yours truly. 1-3-6 in race number 8. Leaving off Louis there on his own horse, Salzburg Ganny. Maybe we should rethink that with the night he's having, but we're going to go 1-3-6 in that one. Then 7-8 in race 9. That's Archangel's Gliding, who I thought was fantastic last time to be second as she trots a lot. Second in each of his last 2. And Am I Radical? Maybe that one can bounce back after a break in stride last time out. Money leg, the finale, 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7. I like the 2 DM Snake Plissken, but I do think there's maybe some opportunities in there for some other ones, and maybe there's some value to be had in that race. I think it's kind of a wide open affair, all things considered, and we're going to use 5 of them. $12 for a 20-cent ticket for yours truly. But Gary gave me an idea as well, because he kind of put me onto that straight early pick 4. So he did it again too in this one. We'll hear. I think he's on with it right now.
No, listen, here's a warning. I usually only have one good idea a day, so I might have already reached my quota.
Well, it's okay. Listen, you were playing with house money on your idea, Gary. You told me to play it for $1, get back $36. We played it for $10. That's $3.60. So we're playing with their money right now, which is okay. So I will do it. And that ticket that Gary had, we'll get Conley's ticket up now if we can, just while I also look at Gary's ticket again to remind me. We went 4 singled here, JG's Pal, then the 1-3 with the 7 with the 2. We did it for $10 again. So we'll see if Gary can go 2 for 2 tonight in his pick 4 angles. There's Conley's ticket, 1-4-6 here. So he's added in the 6 All-Star Goldie, a speed threat from post 5 now with the scratch of the 3 here. That's Soul Wit. Just the 3, always a catch in race 8. I do like just always a catch in race 8, but coming to condition claiming ranks, I mean, I want to have some other ones in there. 1, 4, 5, and 7 in race 9, spreading out in what might be a wide open event. I went to the outside of the gate. And then 4, 5, and 7 in race 10. Doesn't have DM Snake Plissken, who I'm quite fond of in there, but I do recognize kind of a wide open event. $7.20 for a 20-cent ticket for Conley's late pick 4. But you've got a minute or so to map out your winning wagers for the late pick 4. Again, takeout's always below 15%. We'll come back just a moment or two, take a closer look at race number 7.
Field for the 7th on parade. 1 Veracruz, Scott Young for Timothy Trueco and Gary Green. Number 2 is Vimy Ridge Venti, Phil Hudon for Steve Lochran and Paul Mazzanti. Three scratch for JG's pal Louis Bois for Brian Lawrence and Stuart Lawrence. 5 is PL Canella, Travis Henry for Matt Dupuis. And number 6, All-Star Goldie, Daryl Thiessen for Steve Watson and All-Star Farms. And number 7, Mactacular, J.B. Renault for Julie Walker and Glengate Farms. Field of 6, race number 7. Let's get a look at this field for the 7th race. And, well, a lot of money has come in for JG's pal. Of course, Veracruz is attracting a strong following as well. And those two do look like the top 2 in here, Rob.
Yeah, I think that the margin between them is kind of razor thin. And the difference for me is Veracruz is moving up, whereas JG's pal has been racing at this level. And JG's pal raced last week where Veracruz did not, so Fitness Edge likely swings in that favor. I think that, obviously Scott Young probably had a tough decision here, and he goes with Veracruz because he drives more horses for Tim Trueco. But at the end of the day, I think it's pretty tight between the two. But I did side with JG's pal because, last time out, hadn't raced in almost a month. And we kind of marveled at the effort because Stony Burke was a strong winner first over. This one was following that one and then kind of got stuck in behind him in the stretch. And I thought maybe had a little trot in the late stages, only got beat just over a length, comes right back on a regular rotation now. I think that really puts him in a nice spot against this group. He moves in a spot on the gate as well. And he's kind of shown he can do it from anywhere. I think he'll likely, attack them at worst in the middle stages of the mile. And Louis having a big night, right? Nice addition to our Wednesday night card here. So I went with JG's pal on top, but I couldn't separate them in the multis. I used them both. I think it comes down to those two, and right now JG's pal, obviously the shorter price is 65.
Yeah, and JG's pal off 4 weeks before that last start, and yet still solid. So I expect JG's pal to be right up on his game here. But look, leaving Veracruz off that single ticket that I gave you, that's the iffy thing. But you can't use them all, and you gotta, if you want to nail down a single ticket, you got to single on somebody. And I would go over JG's pal over Veracruz, but you said it, razor thin.
It is, yeah, and I agree with you, though. But it's funny, I just talked about in race 6 how you got to kind of pick a side, right? You can't use them both when they're both short prices. Well, I didn't pick a side here, which I guess I should have. Full disclosure, I did play, obviously, the ticket you told me liked, which was JG's pal singled up here. And then I did play some extra push tickets with JG's pal singled. But again, Veracruz has done nothing wrong. And, I mean, this is one that's obviously really come into his own here at the River. 6 for 11 this season, 8 top 3 finishes, and the ones where he's missed was either a break in stride or efforts where it just didn't work out trip-wise. And obviously on a 2-race win streak, should be bringing with confidence, and Scott Young's been able to pretty much race this one from anywhere. Pole position shouldn't be too big of a problem. He's kind of a sure-footed trotter, but again, as that price creeps up on JG's pal, I'm still thinking that's the way to go.
One of the problems, though, with Veracruz does sit back a little further, and if in this field of only 6, if there's not enough pace, it could be an easier path to victory for JG's pal.
It might be, yeah, because I think obviously the All-Star Goldie's going to be firing out of there again, right? We're going to see her fire out of there. She's probably going to try to chop it out. Now, I would think JG's pal is going to either move off the gate or make a move pretty early and go on the attack against that one, and then it's decision time. Do you let that one go, or do you take them on? And then maybe Veracruz is on that one's helmet. But you're right. I mean, the pace advantage might fall in the favor of JG's pal, or maybe even All-Star Goldie for that matter, who's been racing pretty fine since coming back off missing a bit of time anyways. So no worse than second in her last 3. And again, she's a threat to take this gate to wire.
We like splitting those top 2, and you think that All-Star Goldie is the one that could maybe get in between them. And also, that is my third choice here. We split them in the 6th race. And another one to look at, how about number 5, Pio Canella? It's really hard to fault Pio Canella. And look, missed time before that last race, now comes back, as you mentioned, same as JG's pal, on a tighter rotation.
Yeah, and that's kind of the key with this one too, right? Comes right back on that regular rotation, was doing absolutely nothing wrong at this level, was just playing second fiddle to Goober Smack, then had a tough trip first over in the race won by MI Radical, where that one kind of went all the way on the engine, and was second to Radical Legacy before that. So I think has every right to take a big step forward here. 10 to 1's an overlay. No doubt about that. And last time I thought maybe had some shot late. Don't think light coming up the inside. Only got beat just over 2 lengths to Stony Burke in the same race that JG's Pal comes out of. So, and All-Star Goldie for that matter. Like this one underneath, maybe that's the one that can spice up the exotics.
And a quick thought on Mactacular, first start for Julie Walker.
Yeah, just, you know what, for me, outermost post in the contest, just kind of want to maybe take a look at this one first time out. I thought qualified well against Downstairs Party, only got beat a neck, obviously was taking a decent competition. Also 3-year-old taking on some older rivals here, but we'll watch this time out.
It's Veracruz and Vimy Ridge Venti on the inside, JG's Pal, Pio Canel in the center, the outside, All-Star Goldie, Mactacular. Field of 6, the 7th race. Field 4, race number 7, moving into position, and now Veracruz slides up into position on the gate as well. There at the start of the rough, and leaving out sharply All-Star Goldie, also JG's Pal, Veracruz on the inside, and Vimy Ridge Venti, All-Star Goldie, Veracruz has come out and is racing in the pocket. JG's Pal is on the outside, Vimy Ridge Venti, Pio Canella, Mactacular, it's All-Star Goldie with Veracruz filling the pocket. JG's Pal gets away third, then Vimy Ridge Venti, Pio Canella, and Mactacular, 6 in a line. Past a quarter in 29 seconds, and All-Star Goldie's got the front. All-Star Goldie, Veracruz is racing second. JG's Pal, the 4-5 favorite, is racing position to third. And then popping on the outside comes Pio Canella, then Vimy Ridge Venti, and Mactacular as they race their way on up towards the half. And Louis Waugh looked over his right shoulder and could see Pio Canella coming, so pops out right now in front of Pio Canella. Has work to do to collar All-Star Goldie. It is All-Star Goldie, now JG's Pal, and on the inside Veracruz off stride Pio Canella. Half of 58 and 3. All-Star Goldie leads it. Veracruz is a sharp second. JG's Pal on the outside is racing third, but still about 2 1/4 off the lead. Is chipping away though. They get on by 3/4, and All-Star Goldie is still strong. And JG's Pal is getting submerging right now and not advancing just yet. And Veracruz is second, JG's Pal third. 1:27 and 2 the 3/4 time. And All-Star Goldie is looking to swamp the field and go all the way. All-Star Goldie, Veracruz, JG's Pal is flattened out. Vimy Ridge Venti on down the stretch. Round they come. All-Star Goldie, Veracruz up the inside. All-Star Goldie is trying to hold on. Here comes Veracruz. Veracruz cruising up the inside to win it up the passing lane. All-Star Goldie, JG's Pal, and Vimy Ridge Venti. Veracruz was able to close again and get the job done. A mile of 1:57. And Rob, oftentimes you discuss how the race will unfold. Well, it was different with Veracruz leaving this time, getting the pocket, and that was a big difference for Veracruz.
Absolutely, it was. And you know what? Listen, it's credit to Scott Young, right? I mean, he's got 2 that he drives all the time here at the river. He sides with Veracruz. I mean, I think there was some loyalty there as well. But hey, he also gets the job done with Veracruz and goes off with a bigger price. The 2 horses that he, has been driving on a regular basis. And we've said that Veracruz has been very versatile in the racing style. Has been closing recently. I guess when we first saw this one, though, we would see him kind of go and attack the front a little earlier in the stages. And this time out, pushes out for that pocket, and that was the difference. I mean, not too much urging required to get past All-Star Goldie, who, man, oh man, is she not racing too good to lose as of late? Her most recent 3 starts now are all going to be second place finishes after chopping out the first 3 panels. But Veracruz just too good and a juicy 2 to 1. So, hey, I'll probably hear from Scott later on tonight, no doubt about it, that I went against him here with JG's Pal, who has to settle for third. But Veracruz, again, keeps that win streak rolling and now extends it to 3.
I was counting on JG's Pal getting away second, and when JG's Pal got away third, I thought, uh-oh.
Yeah, no, I was in the same boat because the problem is that you know the pace setter. Like, and I did kind of think that JG's Pal might be first over, but All Star Goldie made the lead so easily. We see those. Look at those last quarters for her: 27-1, 27-3, 27-2, 29 seconds flat this time. We know coming first up against a horse that gets 29, 58, and 3, who's been going much quicker, is not going to end well. Now, he never really got close to her, anyways. But again, Veracruz, catbird seat, right in the 2 hole, comes up the passing lane for the victory. And again, as you mentioned, Gary, the passing lane certainly more alive the deeper into the season we get.
And we've mentioned before trying to split the favorites. Well, we said All Star Goldie would be the one that could do it. We thought it would be 4-6-1. It's 1-6-4.
Yeah, I mean, again, right, just kind of in the wrong spots there. But hey, I used them both in the multi-leg, so we're still rolling.
I told you I only have one good idea a day, and it was already used, so I reached my quota. Good idea that you went also adding in Veracruz, who Scott Young had the answer with the drive in the 7th race. Veracruz takes race number 7. A 3-year-old father, Patrick Brown gelding, up a Gary Green and Timothy Cherwakup. Timothy, the trainer. It's the 7th win for Veracruz in 12 starts this year. 7th win lifetime, 157 flat. Seventh race payouts: 1 Veracruz, 650, 310, 210. 6 All-Star Goldie, 350, 210. 4 JG's Pal, 210. $2 exactor, 26.50. Dollar try, 20.30. Dollar super, 164.80. Seventh race, order of finish from the top, 1-4 scratch 3625. That's 1-4 scratch 3625 on the bottom. Field 4, race number 8 on parade 1, Katie's Column, private driver James McConnell. Number 2, Angry Angels, Sammy Fillion for Zachary Carroll. Number 3, Always a Catch, Paul McKenzie for Chantal Mitchell and Kevin Harvey and Rudge Racing. For Stilton Gold, Jason Ryan for Harry Martin. Number 5, Saul's Brigani, Louis Bois for Eric Nadeau and Daniel Gaudreau. Number 6, Quiet Assurances, Bruce Richardson for Rennie Dion and Howard Taylor and Falcon Racing. Number 7, Tribal Dancer, Todd Ratchford for Rod Boyd. Field of 7, race number 8. Let's get a look at this field. And one Kitty's Column, Rob, is interesting to me because sometimes when you're trying to compare Kitty's Column and Always a Catch and you look at Prospect Series versus the condition class that Always is a Catch, you might lean one way thinking something about the field, and then you got to look closer at who the horses that Kitty's Column was facing. That suddenly makes you think differently.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, I would say, for me, Kitty's Column, I think she's been racing better than advertised, right? The last one, I'm willing to kind of throw it out. I mean, gets beat by a wide margin to Cheese Party and Distant Lover at Mohawk Park. Before that, though, it's interesting. I had to watch that replay a few times. I didn't see a head-on shot at Kawartha Downs, but it looked like maybe couldn't get through along the inside. I thought maybe had a little more pace than what it showed. It only got beat 2 lengths of Cheese Party on that occasion. Before that was a winner. Georgian Downs and Nowhere is a 3, and is facing solid company there. So 5 for 15 on the year, 8 on the board finishes, and I figured she'd be the bigger price of the two, and maybe right now she's second choice in the betting at 2-1, but I thought she'd give us the value. Hopefully she gives us that come post time, because right now she's vying for favoritism.
Well, and also the thing with Kitty's Column, that last race, her field got the half in 54-4, where you look at Always a Catch, they're reaching the half in 56, one of them even 57-1 in the last 4 starts. So Kitty's Column just got dragged into a much tougher spot and faltered late. And I think when you look closer, you realize, well, it didn't falter that much. 27-4 final quarter and a mile of 52. So Kitty's Column 6-5. I wouldn't be shocked if it ends up being the favorite. And I think you might be right. I did go with Always a Catch, but as I got looking closer at it, I'm kind of leaning slightly the other direction. Always a Catch, though, has certainly got the form.
Yeah, she does, and she found it in that condition claiming class, right, at Mohawk Park. Now, the cap for earnings on that is $30,000. She's won 2 of her last 3, no worse than second or the last 4. She's been odds on in every single one of those efforts, though, and only missed by a head 2 back in the length 4 starts ago. So that's kind of really woke her up. She wasn't really able to do much here at the River and the bottom condition class. That's the non-winners of X last 3, though, back in July. And I mean, getting back here now in good order for Chantal Mitchell, I think she can obviously do some damage against this group. I just figured she'd get bet pretty heavily, and she is right now, I guess, at 9-5, and I just try to figure out how it translates, right? Condition claiming ranks and facing some decent racehorses in there, but now Prospect Series starters and horses that dabble in non-winners of 3, stuff like that. I'd like, usually side with one like Kitty's Column over her, but again, she should be confident coming into this, and she looms the danger.
And then Quiet Assurances also was dragged into that race that I was mentioning. In fact, was racing in front of Kitty's Column at the half, was 3rd, and Kitty's Column was 4th. And Quiet Assurances still did pace 52-4.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Because you have horses that really, I mean, it doesn't matter what surface it is. I mean, obviously the bigger surface are going to go faster, but they're not used to kind of closely attending fractions like 26-2, 54-4. And that can sometimes, break a horse's heart. I mean, this one had to leave out of there in 26-3 last time out, which obviously is, a tick faster than the 26-4 she did at Kawartha Downs before that, but she also faded in that one to 4th. So, interesting to see what the trip scenario is like for these horses tonight. I've always liked Quiet Assurances as a horse, and 2 for 18 this year, 3 for 12 last year, and I don't think she's without a chance here. And to be honest, I'd say win odds, she's the value right now at 6-1 because she's got the ability maybe to go forward off the switch, or maybe try to sit a trip as well. And again, I don't think she's out of place against this group by any stretch.
Number 5, Salzburg Annie, you mentioned Louis Waugh, could be dangerous. And Salzburg Annie, we saw this one flash here August the 28th and looked pretty good.
Yeah, she crushed them on that occasion. I mean, she crushed them on July 23rd, or sorry, July 3rd as well, all the way on the engine. Easy victory as odds-on favorite that time. 2 starts ago, only held on by a head over Ultimate Twix, did so at a bigger price. Then went to Mohawk Park and faced Always a Catch in that condition claiming race and faded back last time, but only got beat 4 lengths in 7th. So I think she's one that prefers a small track. She did good things at Hiawatha early in her career as well. She's 7 for 15, 10 on the board, finishes Louis-Philippe Bois. You can't rule her out. Now, I did leave her out of my pick 5, so hopefully I don't regret that.
I used Salzburg Annie for second in here, and I think she can get off the gate very well. It'll be interesting to see how this unfolds. Kitty's column, Angry Angel on the inside. In the center, Always a Catch, Stilton Gold, and Salzburg Annie. The outside, Quiet Assurances and Tribal Dancer. The field of 7, 8th dash. Into the backstretch they go. And Kitty's column broke stride. Quickly recovers and is moving back up. And the field is at the start in the rough. And it is Salzburg Annie who's going to blast out with Quiet Assurances. Then Always a Catch, Kitty's column on the outside, Tribal Dancer. Then it is Stilton Gold and Angry Angel. Quiet Assurances making noise early is able to come on and get the lead. Tribal Dancer still dancing on the outside. Salzburg Annie on the inside, third in front of Always a Catch. Then Kitty's column and Stilton Gold and Angry Angel. And off the turn they come. Tribal Dancer at 30-1. Wants to dance right up and come on and clear to the front for Todd Ratchford. Long shot, Tribal Dancer with the lead. Quiet Assurances, though, doesn't want that. Wants to come right back out and is going to reclaim the front, and Tribal Dancer is in the pocket. And quickly, Salzburg Annie is moved out on the back of Quiet Assurances as Quiet Assurances is going to come on and reclaim the lead. And Salzburg Annie is looking to pounce early. Tribal Dancer, Kitty's column, has made a nice recovery from a break before the start to be situated second over on the back of Salzburg Annie. Always a Catch is on the inside. Then Stilton Gold and Angry Angel. It is Quiet Assurances off a half of 57. Quiet Assurances, Salzburg Annie. Tribal Dancer sharing third with Kitty's column, who's moving up and now takes over third. Tribal Dancer fourth. Racing on the outside, fifth, Stilton Gold. Always a Catch is on the inside, sixth, and Angry Angel. And now we're getting a 3-1 action from Kitty's column. 3/4, 126 and 3. And Quiet Assurances at 7-1 still has the lead. Quiet Assurances, Salzburg Annie. Kitty's column, Stilton Gold. As the field turns for home, Quiet Assurances is still making noise on the lead, but Salzburg Annie. And on the outside, Kitty's column, but now Salzburg Annie is closing, digging in Quiet Assurances. Quiet Assurances was noisy all the way to the finish and wins it. Then it was Salzburg Annie, Stilton Gold, and Kitty's column, 155 and 4. Quiet Assurances at 7-1 on the board. It was the winner.
That's why we love live handicapping, right? I mean, Gary, that, for me, I love writing the Horse Players Journal, but I'm always locked into those selections. I always love being on a live broadcast, and that's why I love the opportunity I get here at Grand River and at the Raceway at Western Fair, because, that's what I mentioned, right? I mean, win odds, no doubt who the value was. Quiet Assurances. There's no way she should be 7-1 against this field, and she has the tactical speed to get to the front against this group, and she kind of swells up on the engine when she gets there. And she had to make multiple moves because obviously Tribal Dancer, wanted to throw her hat into the ring tonight. Horses had to kind of jostle around that one in the middle stages of the mile. But Quiet Assurances, strong to the wire, holding off Salzburg Annie. And obviously Kitty's column maybe has a different fate if not for that miscue behind the gate. But I still think Quiet Assurances raced pretty well tonight. Right from pillar to post, and 7-1 on the board. It's a monstrous number, Gary.
Top of the stretch, I thought certainly that Salzburg Annie was going to come on, and Quiet Assurances not only held on, but actually looked really strong coming to the finish.
Yeah, see, I was kind of the opposite. I got it. Maybe, I mean, obviously alive in the multi legs. I didn't have Salzburg in. I've got quite assurance. A 7-1 shot. That should be a healthy knockout. I mean, even though I don't know if she's that big of a price in the multis, but um, I kind of felt that she was home because she's a horse that's always kind of been tough on the lead, and I thought she looked really good. I mean, throughout that mile, kind of really looking like the horse I remember when she has won with these kind of trips in the past. And yeah, like you said though, but in the late stages, she looked even stronger. Like she was she could have went around again, and no one's going past her. So 7-1. Again, I can't say enough about that price. That price is a monster price, and no third choice. But I try to identify who I think the value on the board is, and it was certainly with quiet assurances.
I underestimated her at the top of the stretch, and the fans underestimated her before the start. So that's a nice little 7-1 play. And you're right, Kitty's column, that bobble really mattered.
It does because then she has to kind of rush to make the gate, right? She got gathered up again, then she had to rush to make the gate. Just look at the exotics right now, 6-5 probable payout, $57. That's a pretty big one. And then you get Silton Gold, able to get the better of that one who had to make a recovery. Kitty's column for third. It's going to really help the try in the super. So should be good payouts all around here, and maybe we can keep on trucking in this pick 5 and pick 4.
It's a 6-5-4-1 back in front of us. Number 6, Quiet Assurances, 3-year-old Control the Moment Brown filly, the Howard Taylor, and Falcon Racing, trained by Rene Dion. Bruce Richardson, the winning driver. It's the third win this year, 6th lifetime. Quiet Assurances, 155 and 4. Eighth race payout, 6 Quiet Assurances, 1730, 720, and 320. 5 Salzburg Annie, 380 and 290, and 4 Stilton Gold, 930. $2 exactor, 56.80. Dollar try, 166.90. Dollar super, 943.50. Eighth race, or a finish from the top. 4653217. That's 4653217. Field for the ninth race on parade. 1 Ultra Lady Aztec. Henriksen drives and trains and owns. 2 is Sand Dune. Bruce Richardson for John Holing and Morley Bosomworth. 3 Scratch. 4 Devil's Kiss. Louis Waugh for Robert Kyle Fellows and Yolanda Fellows and Arpad Sapo and Blair Corbeil and Mike McAllister. 5 is Hit the Bank. Travis Henry for Gerard Demers and J.R. Merrois and Jim Tropey. Number 6, Champagne Bettina. Daryl Thiessen for Cameron McQueen and John McQueen. Number 7, Archangel's Gliding. Austin Sorry for Robert Manders and Scott and Keith Manders. And number 8 is Am I Radical? Ryan Holiday for Dave Holiday and Caroline Holiday and Dennis Hanna. It's a field of 7 for race number 9. And Rob, the talent in this race is sort of on the outside. Archangel's Gliding and Am I Radical? They probably were glad to see 1 scratch. Now our top pick, Archangel's Gliding, gets to leave out of post position 6, and there he looks strong on the track.
Yeah, he does, and I mean, I thought he would take all the betting support. We've seen it kind of bounce around in some places. I wasn't expecting it to go here in race number 9, and Archangel's Gliding last time out second to She Trots a Lot. We know how we're both fond of that one. She went on to actually race well at Mohawk Park. She was third there. And this one was kind of, getting to her in the late stages, and 56-4 was his mile time at 13-1. Didn't miss by all that much, and before that, just beating ahead to Belvedere Franklin. It really kind of been, knocking at the door here at the river after a nice victory in Sarnia, which was a real strong effort at 15 cents to the dollar back in early August. So nothing wrong with his record this year. 2 for 8, 7 on the board finishes over that span, and like you said, Gary, it looks fantastic on the track right now.
Well, I was comparing him to Devil's Kiss, and there's nothing wrong with Devil's Kiss, but Archangel's Gliding is just a bigger, muscular horse.
Yeah, he definitely is. Yeah, you went by him and certainly towered over that one. I mean, he's 5, so I mean that certainly gives him maturity edge over this field and more of a late bloomer, right? So again, I typically will side with those older types, even when they might be lighter on experience, because they're fully matured, and I mean he looks fantastic out there.
I told you before, age doesn't necessarily mean maturity. Archangel's Gliding 7-2. Number 8, Am I Radical? A 4-year-old that made a break here last time out.
Yeah, break last time, 8-1 from post 7. Vera Cruz was the winner of that one. I mean, I think we'd back Vera Cruz in this spot, and before that was kind of first over as a heavy favorite against All Star Goldie. It didn't work out on that occasion, and I just think that Am I Radical was one that was going to kind of slip past the betting public in this race. 3-1 morning line. I didn't think that was going to happen because you got the uttermost post in the contest, and the last 2 lines don't look all that great. But the one before that was dynamite. It really was. Easy victory on the engine, but that was from post 2. So I'm just hoping that Am I Radical can get a reasonable trip tonight and work his way, onto the ticket. Maybe even the bottom end of the exact at a nice price right now at 8-1.
Ultra Lady S you used for third, and I think I'm wrong to not use this one on my top 4. That was a really good race 2 starts ago with Showed Holiday and Ancient Walnum right there with them. Last race, I think maybe I punished her too much for just not finishing strongly, but should be more closely attending the pace as she did 2 starts ago.
I think so, and that's kind of why I used her underneath, and I figured she'd take a bit of money just because she's got the pole position, and she's a horse that when she gets put into play, she does pretty good things. And I think that's going to be the game plan tonight. Now, over 24 in the season, just not on finishes. Ultra Lady S to me is just one that, you've got to be mindful of in here. If she ever gets away with the early lead, her stock kind of soars, which might happen. And what the funny thing is, last time, I didn't think it was as bad as the line looks. She kind of got shuffled back. And she came home in 31 seconds, but I thought she was kind of still moving forward again at the wire, at least moving forward on the rivals in front of her. It don't matter to me was long gone. So, I think that she's worth a look in here. And I think, the price is about right at 5-1 when you can't leave off the exotics.
Devil's Kiss beat a maiden class year, August the 28th, moved up to this level last race and was okay, finishing fourth. But I think this one could make a step forward. I'm actually playing this one higher up on the ticket.
Yeah, we look for a horse to get acclimated to the level, which is what he did last time. Now, he beat a much softer group, 2 back, no doubt about it, 35 cents to the dollar. I thought he took too much support last time at 2-1. But now with that start under his belt at that level, and I guess a really solid group, fourth to 3 horses, I think we would all back in here. So he's got a right to really make his presence felt here tonight. Louis Philippe Bois aboard. He's been a hot hand throughout the evening, and wouldn't be surprised to see this one try to go forward off the switch, maybe even chop it out.
And a quick thought on Champagne Bettina. Took a bunch of early money, and that was come on up.
Well, I mean, the big recovery 3 starts ago, made a break in stride, then was a winner 2 back at Leamington, and last time out, made those breaks again. So I mean, if she trots, she's in with a chance. Her best trips going forward off the gate. I just couldn't really back her with any confidence tonight. I was just going to watch her, but she's taken a lot of money. I mean, 50-1 morning line. I thought that was probably pretty fair, but she took all the early dough.
It's a field of 7 for race number 9. They're gathering speed. Approaching the start. They're at the start and they're off. And Champagne Bettina, Archangel's gliding. Am I Radical? The outside 3 stride out with Ultra Lady S pressing on through on the inside. Devil's Kiss, Sand Dune. Hit the bank is trailing the field. Archangel's gliding continues to glide towards the front. Archangel's gliding clears to the lead. Am I Radical is going to press on. Am I Radical is going to come on around Archangel's gliding now. And it is Champagne Bettina forwardly placed third. Ultra Lady S is fourth, and Devil's Kiss is racing fifth. And now Am I Radical has the lead, but it is a short-lived lead as Archangel's gliding wants the front. It will come right back around Am I Radical. So the outside posts have the top 2 spots as they race their way. And Archangel's gliding kind of stalled on the outside, and Am I Radical on the inside still has the lead. Am I Radical and Archangel's gliding. Champagne Bettina's racing third. Ultra Lady S is racing now and coming on the outside. Devil's Kiss and then back to Sand Dune and hit the bank, and it is Am I Radical from the backfield. There goes Sand Dune now. Sand Dune is sweeping up, and Sand Dune has come on 3 wide and is moving up against the top 2. Am I Radical and Archangel's gliding. Am I Radical leads it by about a head. Then it is Archangel's gliding. Sand Dune 3 wide. Champagne Bettina's been getting a trip on the back of Am I Radical. And Ultra Lady S is in the hunt. Devil's Kiss and hit the bank. 3/4, 128 and 4. Sand Dune 3 wides coming forward now. Sand Dune. Archangel's gliding has a slim lead. Am I Radical on the inside? Then Ultra Lady S, and here comes Devil's Kiss kicking in late. Champagne Bettina's looking for the passing lane and also hit the bank. They're fanned out. They're all in it as they come home. Sand Dune. Here comes Devil's Kiss. Devil's Kiss is going to come on by and win it. Devil's Kiss. Archangel's gliding, then hit the bank, and Ultra Lady S 159 and 3. That was a rather exciting dash, Robert.
Dash, one that again didn't really play out the way that I expected. I mean, especially we saw early on. Look, there's going to be a give and go. This didn't happen. Wasn't sure if maybe Am I Radical? You just didn't want to let Archangel's gliding get back past him again because it looked like it was going to be a give and go for those two. Archangel's gliding then ends up first over, and they were in tight formation. I mean, there was 5 of them within a length of each other on the backside for the last time. The horse that at no point did I think was winning until started rolling wide was Devil's Kiss, who took the support down to favoritism at 9-5. Ends up just getting past them late. I mean, they're all really tired. The last quarter of the race is almost 31 seconds, and the one with the live legs is Devil's Kiss. So marches right past him for Louis Philippe Bois, gives him the hat trick on the night, and just proved to be too good for them.
At top of the stretch, as an announcer, you often decide who you think to keep a close watch on, and I was thinking Sand Dune was going to come on by.
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, Sand Dune really kind of accelerated on them on the backside, and I thought Mike just marched right past them all and be one of those ones where you see one that goes by and then opens up a big margin. But again, as they kind of accelerated with that one, you just wasn't able to go with them and get past them. very interesting race the way it all panned out. Again, not what I kind of expected, but sometimes when that happens, the favorite somehow gets home.
Well, and Devil's Kiss took a lot of money last week and took it again this week, 9-5, and Louis Waugh gets the job done. We loved Archangel's Gliding, but boy, that wasn't the way we drew it up, and still actually pretty credible to finish second there.
Yeah, I thought raced really well to be second, all things considered. I mean, you leave hard, then you end up first over a long way. Every right to kind of pack it in, didn't do so, ends up claiming the place spot, and one we'll probably come back to next time.
It's a 4-7-5-1. Back in front of us is number 4, Devil's Kiss, a 3-year-old Archangel Bay gelding, by Yolanda Fellows and Arpad Zabo, Blair Corbeil, and Mike McAllister. Robert Kyle Fellows, the trainer. Louis Waugh, the winning driver, second win this year and lifetime. Devil's Kiss, 159-3. Note it is the driving hat trick for Louis Waugh on the evening, taking race number 9 with Devil's Kiss in the payouts for Devil's Kiss 580, 280, 290. 7, Archangel's Gliding, 360, 255, hit the bank, 340. $2 exactor, 22.90. Dollar try, 103. $65 super, 288.80. Ninth race, so we finish from the top. 4-5 scratch 13627. That's 4-5 scratch 13627 on the bottom. Field for the 10th on parade. One, easily the best. Travis Henry for Matt Dupuis and Rick Heeman. Number 2 is DM Stink Plissken, Brett McDonough for Don Lindsay and Derek Watson. 3 is Officer Cheese, Jason Ryan for Scott McNiven and Kimberly and Brad McNiven and Doug and Thomas Broadhurst. 4 is Wizard of Bots, Louis Bois for Kevin Bots. 5 is Montrego, Phil Houdon for Jody Cullen and A1 Stable. Number 6, Magic Mike, Daryl Thiessen for Gary Murner and Alan Guthrie. Number 7, Smart Thinking, Scott Kohler for Kim BX. 8 is Perfect Smiley, Nick Stewart for Peter Christie. And 9 is Aladdin Dulac, Semi Filia for Alexandre Laroche and Jean Laroche. Field of 9, race 10, a great betting dash for a super high 5, Rob. And you do see the favorite is at a lukewarm 3-1. In fact, 7 horses in here I could make an argument to be taken on top in the win. Also interesting, you and I both have DM Snake Plissken on top, and the other 2 cappers, Kenny and Conley, don't have the 2 in their top 4. But last race, we both backed him from post 8, and I knew right away when I saw that he drew post 2 in this start, we're coming right back to him.
Yeah, we had to, right? I mean, I think Kenny actually picked him on top last time, and I mean, you can't really fault the horse too much. He got away 8th off the gate. I mean, it was really gapped out in the early stages, and then kind of tried to make a move at them, but at that point the race was kind of done, and I think he kind of used up a lot of his energy just to kind of get back into contention. Start before that, Brett McDonald was aboard on that occasion. He gets reunited with him tonight. There was like a brief window where if he had got to the outside to clearance, I think he's a winner. He still raced tremendous to be 3rd. Now 3rd start back off a layoff. And now that inside draw, right? I mean, he shouldn't really be, a millionth and way out of it as he was last time. And he's not going to have to use too much, energy trying to get into contention. So 3-1 on the board right now. He's vying for favoritism. I think he kind of deserves it. And I like to play situations, and this is a good situation for DM Snake Plissken.
Well, 55 and 3 middle half last race, so that's maybe why he wasn't flying right at the finish, but still only beaten 3 after being way back. Love the play. But there's a lot of different angles in here you could go to. Number 4, Wizard of Bots. You get Louis Bois, horse that, last race wasn't his best, but 2 races ago was really good here.
He was on the engine on that occasion, and he's always been a horse to me that kind of swells up on the lead. And when he kind of zinged through the post parade there, right? He looked pretty lively. Now I think he's just trying to calm down a little bit. I think Louis is going to send him off the gate, and if he does, then his stock soars to me, because if he touches that on the engine, and you get any kind of reasonable fractions, he becomes very dangerous. Like his chances in here right now. I mean, we're looking at the horses that are kind of vying for favoritism, though, with DM Snake Plissken and Wizard of Bots. I thought there might be a little more value on the board with those 2. But hey, it's a pretty evenly bet race right now, and like you said, it's a perfect kind of event for a high 5.
Number 7, Smart Thinking, a little light in the win column, but won here 3 races ago after being 8th at the quarter and 8th at the half, and was pretty good last time out as well.
Yeah, didn't do anything wrong last time. I mean, you kind of had to keep driving for the lead. Pretty legit fractions throughout. Only gets beat by head by Aladdin Dulac, who got a perfect trip in behind him. And Smart Thinking, to me, has always been a closer. I have no problem with a horse, looks like he might be the best in the race when he gets put into play and goes to the front. I still think his better efforts are chasing a target, and he's likely going to go back to that tonight with post 7. 9-1 is a huge price of Smart Thinking. I mean, he was so much the best, it was scary. August the 14th, even though he won by 3/4 of a length, he circled them like they were standing still, and really won with ease, even though that slim margin's there. And I think he's getting overlooked right now. I don't think he should be. I think he should be taking a lot more support than that.
I used easily the best second here. Now look at last year. This is one that was really good, and so far this year it hasn't been great, but of late it's been better. But I thought that last race might just be a sign of big things to come.
He's kind of performed, respectably well when he gets really tough trips. And I think that's why you have to respect his chances, because last time out, real tough trip, 6 only gets beat half the length. Before that, tough trip, finishes like, I mean, he still finds ways to get pieces, going tough journeys. Should be a lot easier tonight in the pole position. Might be able to maybe work out a favorable journey this time out. Might make him dangerous. 5-1 though. I think he should be a bit higher than that, even though he's the morning line.
Well, your internet connection's not the greatest, but I'll tell you what. Number 5, Montrego. Remember how this one raced last time out? He was right there in the hunt, deep, third beat and a neck at the finish, and he looked sharp, a lot better than he's been looking. Maybe Montrego's sitting on a winning effort.
And we mentioned he should be on the watch list, right? So only got beat a neck at 10-1 that time around. Now he's 5-1. I think that just kind of speaks to how tough this field is, top to bottom. Real good looking race. Really excited to see how it plays out.
Well, we're both riding DM Snake Plissken, Conley and Kenny, both not on this one, but the fans have a lukewarm favorite status with our top pick, DM Snake Plissken. We'll see what transpires here, but it's a field of 9, a good handicapping dash, super high 5 to close out a wonderful Wednesday night as the field is wending their way towards the start. Field of 9. Race number 10 is at the start of the rough and blasting out. Montrego also leaving well, easily the best. DM Snake Plissken, DA Magic Mike made a break in stride. Wizard of Bots fourth away. Aladdin Dulac from the second tier. Then Officer Cheese and Smart Thinking. Perfect Smiley and DA Magic Mike. But Montrego and Phil the Thrill has got the lead as they race to the opening quarter. Easily the best is second. DM Snake Plissken is third and is considering a move to the outside right now as they race off the turn, and it is Montrego and DM Snake Plissken, driven confidently by Brett McDonald, is working up on the outside, and on the inside easily the best. There goes DM Snake Plissken trying to move up and challenge for the front against Montrego, and on the inside third is easily the best. Then Wizard of Bots as they work their way on up to the half, and on the outside as they work their way on down the backstretch, Aladdin Dulac, and then it is back to Officer Cheese, and Smart Thinking is seventh, but now starting to move smartly. Then Perfect Smiley and DA Magic Mike. DM Snake Plissken came on to get the lead of a strong half of 55-3. DM Snake Plissken, Montrego, easily the best, and then racing forth is Aladdin Dulac, and Smart Thinking is up to fifth, and Wizard of Bots is sixth. They hustle on up to three quarters. DM Snake Plissken and Brett McDonald look strong on top. Has a lead of 2.5 over Montrego. Easily the best, and then Aladdin Dulac and Smart Thinking and Wizard of Bots, and then DA Magic Mike and Officer Cheese and Perfect Smiley. As the field turns for home, DM Snake Plissken on down the stretch drive they come. DM Snake Plissken a little more work to do, but has a nice margin and is cruising at the finish. DM Snake Plissken is your winner. Montrego is in a place photo with easily the best. And on the inside, and then in the center, that on the outside was Aladdin Dulac. I was just thinking so much of DM Snake Plissken, I lost my train of thought there, Rob. But here's a message for Conley and Kenny. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm surprised Kenny didn't come back to him, because Kenny was on the bandwagon with us last time out. But you know what? Yeah, he's just, wow, he was much the best today, wasn't he? I mean, it's kind of interesting. The kind of effort that I was hoping for last time, but he had post 8, so difficult to get there. He's not a horse that has tremendous speed off the gate, but he got away well tonight. But I guess Brett probably, having been aboard 2 starts ago and all that horse he had late in the mile, he didn't want to end up in a spot this time out where maybe he didn't get to show it. So he made that move pretty early, goes to the lead. Was kind of, off the rail for quite a bit of the trip too, and didn't matter, just much the best. And 3-1, I mean, looks like a gift right now, doesn't it? I mean, this is one we've been fond of for a long time. Raced tremendous tonight, Gary.
Yeah, and I was a little concerned when Brett pulled so quickly and came after a horse that was racing well, but Brett obviously knew how much horse he had.
Oh, he certainly did. Yeah, I mean, again, he was aboard 2 starts ago, and that was, I mean, such a monstrous closing effort. Like I said, if he had have got room earlier in that mile, he would have been a winner at a bombs away price, and it would have been a banner night for yours truly, because I desperately needed him at that number that night. But Hey, listen, 3-1's not so bad tonight either.
And Montrago did race well again and is right there in the hunt along with easily the best. And Latin du Lac was the one on the outside that kind of dropped my attention for a second.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought, Montrego raced pretty well, all things considered. I mean, he was handled more aggressively this time out, and obviously maybe felt the pinch late, but still ended up racing pretty well in a photo for the place spot. Not sure where he ended up, but I thought he raced pretty well. Easily the best, same kind of thing. And Alain Delac raced much better than I expected. I mean, I thought he's kind of a trip horse. He had to kind of put forth a gutsy effort tonight on the outside, and really, made his presence felt in the late stages at 7-1.
The one horse was named easily the best, but I think that name more applies to DM Snake Plissken in this one.
Yeah, it certainly does. He escapes with an easy victory tonight.
Back in front of us, DM Snake Plissken. 5-year-old better than Cheddar Bay Gelding, by Derek Watson, trained by Don Lindsay. Brett McDonald smiling in the winner's circle. First win on the year for DM Snake Plissken. Third lifetime, 154 and 3. Tenth race payouts to DM Snake Plissken, $8, 460, 330. 9, Aladdin du Lac, 770 and 460 and 1. Easily the best, 340. $2 exactor, 52.20. Dollar try, 68.55. Double to 4 and 2, 30.80. The $1 pick 3. Pays $135.90. Dollar pick 4, 410.50. Dollar pick 5, 633.30. Dollar high 5, 656.05.
Have a good night. Great job. Thank you.
There's a look at the place photo with Aladdin du Lac on the outside, down on the inside, easily the best, and in the center, Montrago. Tenth race order finish from the top is a 317 648 592. That's 317 648 592 on the bottom. Well, fans, that does conclude the live harness racing program for this Wednesday evening. Action resumes here on a Friday night, a first race of 6:30 p.m. Buenas noches, amigos. Good night, everybody. Good night, Sean.
Hi, Gary. Thank you.